Hershey Bears, he promised they would make some personnel changes. Probably going to change up their power play a little bit, too, after they gave up 2 shorthanded goals against the Lehigh Valley Phantoms in the Friday game. So Hershey won game 1, 3-0 on a 26-save shutout for Hunter Shepard, but the Phantoms stormed back with a 3-1 win on Friday to even the series at 1 game apiece. So for the Phantoms with the exact same lineup, that means the scratches are 4 Ty Murchison, 8 Ben Gleason, 13 Brendan Furry, 16 J.R. Avon, 20 Cooper Marody with an injury, 22 Rhett Gardner, 27 Samu Tuamala also an injury, 36 Sawyer Bolton, 46 Alex Chernick, 55 Xavier Bernard, 72 Alexi Gendron also injured with a team leading 20 goals this year, and 73 Massimo Rizzo also scratched the goaltenders, 32 Etu Makaniemi, 34 Carson Bjarnason, and we have also added from Reading, and he's a scratch, 80 Keith Petruzzelli. Those are your scratches. The starters, Parker Gahagan against Hunter Shepard. Game 3 in the best of 5 Atlantic Division semifinals. It's coming up next on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
Every 14 seconds, a hacker strikes a business like yours, lurking for 10 months on average before they're flagged. The good news? Ace by Velaspan. Not your typical defensive tool. Ace flags hackers within moments, safely engaging them on a virtual network before showing them the door. Speedy detections, no false alarms, a secure network. And best yet, Velaspan manages it all. To learn more, visit ace.velaspan.com.
At Bethlehem Landfill, we're more than just a waste disposal site. We're a vital part of our community. Bethlehem Landfill provides the Lehigh Valley with environmentally safe and cost-effective waste disposal for residential, commercial construction, and demolition waste. But it's not just about waste. We're committed to giving back to our community, funding local environmental scholarships, and supporting initiatives that make our neighborhoods a better place to live and work. Bethlehem Landfill, your trusted partner in waste disposal and community growth.
Phantoms Hockey tonight on the Phantoms 365 app and the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network is presented by our founding partners, including Capital Blue Cross, Truist, PPL, The Morning Call, Service Electric, Air Products, WFMZ 69 News, and Lehigh Valley Health Network. Back inside PPL Center, a whole host and complement of Flyers management are on hand here today, and they have been throughout the playoffs for the most part. Daniel Briere and Keith Jones, Alan McCauley, Barry Hanrahan, the assistant general managers, and several more watching their Lehigh Valley Phantoms players and the prospects that we have here, including Alex Bump and Jet Luchenko, who maybe weren't quite as strong in the game on Friday. They were not as noticeable. He had some contributions from some other guys. Of course, we changed the lines around from Game 1 Wednesday to Game 2 Friday. Flip-flopping a couple of the wings. There's Mayor Matt Turk, and he is starting out that siren. We break out the siren for the playoffs. This is not a drill. These really are the playoffs. Yeah, he's got everybody going, and here come the rally towels, too. So Luchenko and Bump on that same line, and then you have Garrett Wilson, who's tossed early in the second. That certainly didn't help matters. Okay, the two teams are both starting their fourth line, so let's see if Giovanni Smith and Dalton Smith want a party here. Giovanni looks like he's talking with him right now. This will be interesting. Riley Sutter against Elliot Denoye. Phantoms in their orange jerseys for the playoffs here at home, of course. The two teams meet at center. The puck is dropped. We're underway for Game 3 in the best of 5 Atlantic Division semifinals. And the two Smiths come away from each other, and it is sent all the way in deep. So Giovanni Smith and Dalton Smith are not going to fight from the start, but Eklund got a little bit of a piece of Aaron Ness there as the puck is sent into the Lehigh Valley end. There's the defenseman Hunter McDonald, the 6th rounder out of Fairport, New York. Now we are going. Belpedio was ready to mix it up there with Dalton Smith a little bit, and everybody gathers. So, I mean, this is going to be brewing, and until somebody actually does drop the gloves and settle this might be percolating for a little while. That is maybe the least surprising event of the evening, that somebody would go up to Dalton Smith, and the Dalton would try to go out there and stir the pot after he was inserted into the lineup for the first time in this postseason. Now the Phantoms top line taking the ice for the neutral zone faceoff, including Jacob Gaucher centering for Ole Luxell and Zayd Wisdom. Hershey head coach Todd Nelson very complimentary of what he saw at Lehigh Valley and basically said those guys wanted it more. I mean, they made it very difficult for us to get really good chances. Gahagan made the big saves when they needed him to. But Lehigh Valley outcompeted them, and they got outcompeted on their whole ice. Wisdom is in. His shot deflected by Aaron Ness. Comes around the other side. Jacob Gaucher shovels it right back around the wall for Zayd Wisdom off his 2 shorthanded goals on Friday. And that was especially embarrassing for Hershey. And they had a power play that had 5 forwards for some of their power plays, including on one of them where Zayd Wisdom scored a shorty. Certainly looked like they got burned on the back end. Jacob Gaucher drops it back into his own end. It kind of eluded Helge Grans, but he'll double back retreat and scoop it up while Hershey is getting a change at the bench of third-year head coach Todd Nelson. Lappy says he has all the respect in the world for their coach, and he learns from him and from them. He wants his team to be like them, to out-Hershey them. Here's Rodrigo Abels in the corner. He tried to center for Richard, but he didn't make it through. Spencer Smallman away, and here comes Limoges and Lapierre. Out in front, Brisky, and a blocked shot by Andre. Some pretty weaving tic-tac-toe passing on the move for the Hershey Bears. But Andre hustled back and blocked the shot, and Lehigh Valley shoots it all the way down and takes an icing violation. Face off back in the Lehigh Valley zone. Of course, Andre is one of the 3 reinforcements who returned from the Philadelphia Flyers as planned, along with Ole Luxell and Rodrigo Abels up front. Emil Andre on the back end. So you get those 3 forwards, and then the 3 newer additions among the younger prospects, including Alex Bump, Jet Luchenko. Oh, here they just barreled over Gahagan, and Grabenkin's got to get a piece of a man. Lapierre and Andre were shoving on each other, but Limoges just rocked into Gahagan off that faceoff. Wow, thankfully it looks like Parker Gahagan is okay. But that just looked nasty on that hit, and I think it's going to only get nastier from here. Referees are going to want to get a control on this thing. Garrett Wilson's line hits the ice with Luchenko and Bump. So Jet Luchenko, Alex Bump, Nikita Grabenkin are the 3 young prospect additions to the lineup. And then Abels, Luxell, and Andre, the reinforcements, the return from Philadelphia. Jet Luchenko on the faceoff against Spencer Smallman. Good win for Luchenko on the draw. Phantoms were about 70% on the faceoff in Game 2. But now an intercept in the Phantoms end. Lapierre trying to shoot for Limoges, who had their only goal on Friday. Couldn't quite get it on net, and the Phantoms clear to center. Wearing their orange jerseys at home here. Another orange out, and Rally Tail will give away. Luchenko and Limoges and Hunter McDonald as well getting in there. Some bumps and shoves and punches behind the play, while Lapierre in his own end dodges away from Bump trying to steal. Connects up ice, and here's Lapierre for Smallman. There's Limoges who sends it in down low, scooped up by Hunter McDonald, and trying to find an opening and an exit. He'll carry it out himself to the red line. Send it in down low. He got tripped up a little bit there by defenseman Andrew Parrott, who spent most of the season with South Carolina in the ECHL, but he's in the lineup today. Nicky Lieberman left the game on Friday after he was boarded by Garrett Wilson, and Lieberman did not return. He left the game looking very woozy, so we assume he is out with an injury. In the Phantoms end, off the glove of Giovanni Smith, Eklund, cross ice to Noye. He's in past Parrott, backhanded onto Hunter Shepard, and a nice save, and a penalty is coming up against the Hershey Bears here. On the move, the 4th liners in Illinois, who had a particularly strong game on Friday in his first chance in the playoffs, and he got off the first shot of the game for Lehigh Valley. John McDonald will go to the box for Hershey. Power play for the Phantoms. A power play that has not exactly done all that great here so far, but we'll see if they can pick up the pace a little bit. In the playoffs, Lehigh Valley is 1 for 15 on the power play, and their lone power play goal was way back in Game 1 against Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Face-off wins for Lehigh Valley. There's Emil Andre handing it off. Right wing Rodrigo Abels out there with Grabenkin, Luxell, and Gaucher. Nikita Grabenkin left corner has Gaucher in the middle, not quite open. Strome was guarding him there on the penalty kill. Go over to the right boards, and there's Luxell turning it on and roll just through the blue. and past the right skate to Shepard. Andre handing it off. Abels trying a shot. Hit off a body and deflected over to Nikita Grabenkin there on the left boards with 3 goals after he joined the Phantoms in March. And the Scott Lawton trade came over from Toronto. Bounced over the stick of Gaucher. Riley Sutter the intercept. And shoots it in on to Gahagan, handing it off to Andre. 1:20 to go on the PPL power play in 16:23 left in the first period. Nothing score. And the Phantoms are in again. Abels looming there between the circles. Now over to the right dot as Grabenkin handles at left point. He and Andre playing catch. Spallman gets out there and pursues. Yeah, their penalty kill getting a little aggressive. Smallman tied him up. Phantoms kept it in. Great hands. Grabenkin down low and a shot. Missing it wide from the beneath the right dot was Abels after that great keep by Grabenkin. Licksell up high, center point. Abels to the left circle. Grabenkin tried a little chip at it. It bounced over his stick, and the Hershey Bears on the intercept will sweep it all the way down ice and the clear. John McDonald got called on a holding infraction at 2:53 of the first. 33 seconds left in the power play. Luchenko, nice drop, Richard, but it bounced off of his stick. He got it back before Strome could clear. Bump on the left wall has Luchenko behind the 2 talented rookies on the left boards. Here's Luchenko for the point, trying to put it through. Riley Sutter got a piece of that pass, deflected it over to the corner, and then around the boards. Hershey found the exit in the clear. Back to the Lehigh Valley Phantom side. Milpedio is backpedaling. 10 seconds left on the power play. Here comes Jet Luchenko across the Phantoms logo at center. Richard weaving from left to right, and a handoff over there. The captain, Garrett Wilson. He's trying to power through to the net after his 700th career AHL game. Out in front, Luchenko. 2 quick tries. Shepard slams the door. Shot denies Luchenko from Garrett Wilson. Backdoor Richard, and he whipped on the one-timer. Oh, what a pass by Jet Luchenko. Hershey trying to catch him on the chain. John McDonald is in, shooting right on Gahagan, the save, and Adam Jennings is going to go up to John McDonald and tell him what's what. Garrett Wilson, I was saying, just had his 700th career AHL game to end the regular season, and he was putting it out there for Jet Luchenko for a great chance down low. And Luchenko again with another gorgeous pass on the other side, and Richard shot it wide. So Jet Luchenko, who I thought was not quite as noticeable, a little quiet in the game on Friday. Wins a few face-offs, but otherwise, all those penalty kills, special teams. Garrett Wilson getting tossed didn't help. Well, now he's really coming alive here in the Sunday game, and a couple of glorious chances that he helped set up. 14:45 to go in the first in the faceoff. Back in the Phantoms, and Jacob Gaucher so good on the faceoffs. And again, the Phantoms were about 70% on the draws in the game on Friday. He's up against former Phantom Mike Vecchione, but it's Koch who wins the draw. Lehigh Valley, Helga Grans, the hero in our last home playoff game, who scored the winner to finish off the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins when he broke a tie with 2 minutes left. Around the wall, bad bounce, Licksell steals for the Phantoms. Cross ice for Wiz, he's in, dangles. Oh, what a great stop. I think that's off the post. Wisdom and a great dangle around Pierre Dubé. Worked his way through. Shot it to the glove side of Hunter Shepard. Hit it off the iron and out. Adam Jennings carries it in, rushes up the left wing to the corner. Draws a crowd, draws Prisky, tried to center, but it was broken up and stolen before it made it through to Gaucher. Pierre Dubé picked it up after 19 goals this year and 29 goals last year, 7 of which were against the Phantoms. He was not quite as strong this year, but I think Hershey in general was not quite as good. They did finish in first place, but definitely not the power that they were the last season when they had 111 points, and everyone considered them the favorites for the Calder Cup. I don't know if that's the case this year. They absolutely look very mortal, and Lehigh Valley reloaded, showed them what's what in the game on Friday in a 3-1 win. Garrett Wilson down along the right boards, and then a handoff and a shot from the point. Sampson maybe deflected off of a stick and goes over Hunter Shepard. Shepard also has been very human this year, very pedestrian. 280 goals against average in the regular season. Oh, here's a turnover, and Sampson's going to get called for a penalty. Lapierre lost his skates trying to get past Ethan Sampson. Sampson gets called. Hershey on the power play when we return. Boy, that's... I don't know if they needed to call that, but... And Sampson's looking at the... He tried to keep it clean. I know he did. Well, I wish they didn't call that, but they did. 13:18 to go in the first. 0-0 score. And the first Commonwealth penalty kill for Lehigh Valley on the way on the Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
What do Air Products and the Lehigh Valley Phantoms have in common? People. Air Products and our employees do more than just serve the community. We are part of the community. We are coaches, community leaders, and volunteers. We contribute valuable time and energy to schools, hospitals, and charitable organizations. We've been making a difference for 75 years. Air Products, working here, living here, giving here, cheering on the Phantoms right here.
Care has the power to bring kindness where it's needed. It brings out the best in every one of us. It doesn't just see people. It takes time to understand them. It puts the needs of others ahead of its own. And when you start with care, you end up with a very different kind of bank. Truist. Truist Bank, member FDIC.
The video board beckons our fans to spin those towels. We got a sea of orange, and it is some great energy and excitement in this building. All the fans are waving their rally towels. First Commonwealth penalty kill for the Phantoms. I can see where they called it a tripping there on Ethan Sampson at 6:42, and he was going to get beat for a breakaway, so he kind of had to do it. He tried to keep it clean. Skarbosa for Miroshnichenko with 23 goals this year, and a block shot. Belpedio got in the way, and the Phantoms shoot it down. Phantoms had 2 shorties on Friday, both by Zayed Wisdom. Hershey won 1 for 6 on the power play. They're 1 for 10 in this playoff series, and against the Phantoms this year at 8% for the entire season, regular season and playoffs combined. Chasing after him and pushing him behind the blue line will excel. Skarbosa hustled back to help out the first rounder, Hendrix Lapierre, who led the Hershey Bears in scoring in the postseason last year and was the playoff MVP. Dubé, cross ice, Limoges dodges away from Abels up high. Abels broke up the pass on a drop for Skarbosa. Races up there, and again it has Garrett Wilson in the middle. Backhand, put it through. Garrett Wilson was down towards the crease, and the pass goes behind him. Nice idea, but Hershey had mostly gotten back in time to cover. 1 minute to go on the Ethan Sampson penalty. Nothing score with 12 then to go in the first period. Limoges, the former NCAA scoring leader in 2018, one of the greats all-time in Penn State hockey history, was in, and then it comes right back out. Chase Prisky, who had a goal against the Phantoms on Wednesday and also an overtime winning goal against the Phantoms here on December 7th. Into the zone, Trineyev for the former Phantom Vecchione, and down low, center Luke Philp. Around to the right point, Spencer Smallman has the puck. Scored a big goal with 13 minutes left in the third on Wednesday for a 2-0 lead after the Phantoms couldn't convert on a 5-on-3. That kill was the momentum lift that Hershey needed to hang on. Spencer Smallman on the right point keeps it in with 15 seconds left on their power play, and Prisky handing it off, and Vecchione, they rotate around. He gives it over for Philp, and again to the top of the left circle. Smallman, it's not open. Grons was guarding him all the way. Prisky shot it wide and around the boards and out. Ethan Sampson returns from the penalty box. We're back to 5-on-5. 11:10 to go in the first, and a 0-0 score. Shots are 4, Hershey 4, Lehigh Valley 2. The chocolate and white in their white jerseys on the road for the playoffs. Chipped up on the wall on the penalty box doors, broken up by the Phantoms. The fourth liner's out there. Eklund tried to find Giovanni Smith. They didn't make it through. Ethan Sampson backing him up. Golson right back to the Hershey side. There's Giovanni Smith doing his thing as he messed up Aaron Ness and sent him down. And I think that Dalton Smith giving him a couple bumps, wanted to challenge him. It's not going to happen. Dalton Smith carries it in. Tried to shoot it, and Ethan Sampson blocked it. Loose in the left circle. Giovanni Smith reaching for it. Couldn't get a piece. And then nudged up to his possession by Andre. Giovanni Smith up to the red line. Dumped it in deep. Hunter Shepard steers it away for the forechecking pursuit of Elliot Denoye. Cross ice, Dalton Smith for Hershey. Played for the Phantoms for 11 games 9 years ago. Now a 32-year-old veteran of over 500 AHL games, and he dumped it in. Hunter McDonald and Louis Belpedio chased around back there by Mike Skarbosa, who missed 21 games and not played since March 1st. And then he returned to the lineup for the playoffs. Turnover and a shot. Rodrigo Abels missed it wide on the glove side of Hunter Shepard. It came right onto a stick on a bad pass. Vecchione with his speed movement. He goes down. Abels blasts into him and leveled him. Vecchione got up after Abels didn't touch him, and then Rodrigo Abels creamed him along the glass in the corner, and then a shot. It's off of, I think, Hagen. Phantoms player tripped up in the corner. That's Abels. Referee's letting him play. It is the playoffs. Breaking up a pass to tip it out of there is Anthony Richard, and glanced it all the way back to the Hershey side. And somehow that wasn't icing, and I think it should have been, but it wasn't. 9.5 to go in the first. Nothing score. Hard hitting and intense action here in Game 3 of this best-of-5 series. We're tied at 1 game apiece, so somebody's going to take a big lead in the series, a decisive lead, but we will not have handshake lines today. We're coming back Friday for Game 4. Andrew Parrott in the lineup, shooting through a screen, missing on the glove side of Parker Gahagan, who's been great. Wraparound pass try from Limoges. It's broken up by Grans. I think that saved a goal because Spencer Smallman was stationed behind him. Here comes Hershey again. Look out. Lapierre took it from Smallman. Shooting and a block shot. Great work, Jennings. And now a penalty. And what is that call? A Hershey player went down. And they got Lehigh Valley's Jennings on a trip after he blocked the shot. Jennings had to clarify, is that really me? I think that's what he was saying. Well, we're getting a little penalty happy again here in the opening minutes of this playoff game. So sort of is like picking up where we left off in the last game on Friday. Just too many penalties, guys. So Jennings for tripping, Hershey on the power play when we come back with 8:56 to go in the first period. Nothing score in Game 3 of the best-of-5 series in the Atlantic Division semifinals of the Calder Cup playoffs on Real Oldies 1470 and the Phantoms 365 app on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
Let's go get Yakult. You know it's always been the best. Let's go get Yakult for quality that beats the rest. They got cheesesteaks, French fries. The famous Yakult hot dog is known worldwide. Let's go get Yakult. The secret sauce is one of a kind.
Prepare to have your mind blown by Coke Zero Sugar with great Coke taste lasers.
Can we cut all that? That's not going to convince anyone. Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news. Some were skeptical. And none of this noise is going to convince you that Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste, because the only thing that'll make you believe that is trying it yourself.
And lasers!
No lasers. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Coming up at the intermission, I had a conversation with Ian LaPerriere about a variety of topics, but one of those was his team keeping their composure and keeping their cool even when some iffy, inconsistent calls go against them. I was noting the Emil Andre tripping penalty that he took late in the game. I didn't think it was a trip, but I never saw a replay of it. And if that happened early, oh, here's a steal. Gaucher, shorthanded, score! Are you kidding me? Jacob Gaucher picks it off, walks right in, flips through the backhander, 1-0 Phantoms. Jacob Gaucher pressuring and jumps all over that awkward pass. Shipped up ice, hit off a linesman, but then Scarbosa just had his pocket picked by Jacob Gaucher, staying with it, and buries it. Wow. Another shorty. The Phantoms had two of them. Both say to wisdom. Incredible. And Hershey was flat out embarrassed and talked about it. You can't give up two short-handed goals. What on earth? And in the third period, too. Scarbosa just had his pocket picked by Jacob Gaucher, who had two short-handed goals in the regular season, including one against Hershey on December 7th. The teddy bear toss goal was a short-handed breakaway for Jacob Gaucher against Hershey. Here's Trineyev after Andre tried to block the pass, centering for Smallman on the power play. Goes through him as he was bumped from behind by Obels. 8 minutes to go in the first and 1:02 to go on the penalty against Adam Jennings. The Phantoms have scored 3 short-handed goals in the playoffs. They have 1 power play goal. And they were kind of joking about, hey, we've been better a man down. Trineyev out in front, shot wide. Phil came out hot off the end boards. Vecchione swung and missed. And the Phantoms intercept and clear it all the way down. Love that play and that hustle. Quick hands for Jacob Gaucher to make Mike Scarbosa look foolish. And he came back to the playoffs after he had missed a month and a half due to an injury and not played since March 1st. Well, Scarbosa, to my eye, looking a little bit rusty, and Cernoy was exposed on that play. Pierrick Dubé carries it in. Undersized goal scorer for Hershey, and now stolen by Hunter McDonald. Nothing undersized about him. And he hammered it all the way down for the long clear, shooting at length of the ice. 10 seconds left on the Adam Jennings penalty. 1-0 Phantoms on the goal for Jacob Gaucher. Series tied at 1 game apiece. Here's Hershey Scarbosa, stolen by the Phantoms. McDonald couldn't find the clear. Limoges blocked it down. Back out is Jennings. 5-on-5 as Gahagan made the save on Limoges. And now a lead pass. Oh, they almost hit Luchenko in stride for a breakaway. Just didn't make it through. Close call, though. Hershey setting it up from behind Hunter Shepard. 6.5 left in the first. 1-0 Phantoms on the Gaucher unassisted. Short-handed goal. Shots are Hershey 5, Lehigh Valley 3, but it's a 1-0 lead for the Phantoms. Iorio cross ice. Sutter shoots it wide past the glove of Parker Gahagan. I tell you, Hershey's really getting some pace and some attack. Aaron Nessa shot. He missed it wide. From way back on the point, around to Iorio, and they try to hit it to Riley Sutter. Forward, rotating back to center point, third man up high, but the pass went behind the blue line. Hershey has to touch up, and the Bears do quickly and reload. Matt Strome, the former Phantom. He had a couple of little tangle-ups with Garrett Wilson the first 2 games in Hershey. They put it in deep in behind the Lehigh Valley goal. Phantoms changing. Grabenkin, Obels, and Richard are out there. What a great assist it was for Grabenkin on the Richard goal. Second period on Friday in Game 2. That gave the Phantoms a 1-0 lead. Long lead pass tried by Andre. Was broken up. Sampson, rather. Sent in deep, though, as the Phantoms stayed with it. Bears trying to beat the Phantoms forecheck. Bank it out to center. Adam Jennings is right there to pick it off. Obels shoveled it on the back end and all the way across for Richard, who got rocked and socked and hit hard off the puck over there. But the Phantoms keep it in after Prisky tried to shove it away. Second effort for the Bears. They clear to the Phantom side with 5:15 to go in the first. 1-0 lead for the Phantoms on a Jacob Gaucher. Short-handed goal after he picked it off from Mike Scarbosa. Long lead pass. Grabenkin didn't touch it. They sail it down and call it an icing violation. Face-off back in the Lehigh Valley zone with 5:04 left in the first. And a 1-0 lead for the Phantoms. And they're getting some good shots here for Hershey. They're kind of missing the net, though. Full complement of Flyers management in the house. And most of those guys were with us on Friday in Hershey as well. Daniel Briere and Keith Jones, among others. They spent a few days down in Texas at the Under-18s World Championship Tournament. Looking at some of the players that they'll be getting to draft in a couple months. All those Under-18s. But now they're watching their prospects that they currently have here now. Including guys like Luchenko and Bumpin. Well, you know, Jacob Gaucher got an NHL contract and played 4 games with the Flyers. Henrik Lapierre slides it across. Shot through a screen. Gahagan found it into the glove on the drive by Aaron Ness and hangs on. Glove save for Parker Gahagan. 4:53 left in the first period. And the Jacob Gaucher shorthanded unassisted goal gives the Phantoms a 1-0 lead in Game 3 of the Atlantic Division semifinals of the Calder Cup playoffs on Real Oldies 1470 and the Phantom 365 app on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
What can you do with business phone from Penn Teledata?
Make a conference call from the coffee shop.
Or connect from the back 9.
With unlimited phone services, 24-hour support, and mobile synergy, our cloud-based technology makes it easy to do business from anywhere. And we do mean anywhere.
No more being stuck in the office.
Which is great for everyone, I think.
Add cloud-based business phone service from Penn Teledata.
The Lehigh Valley never stops, and neither does the morning call. Whenever, wherever news happens, we're there. From City Hall to the courthouse, sports stadiums to school boards, our reporters work around the clock to bring you the news you need. With a subscription to the Morning Call, you get it all, however you want to get it. On your phone, your computer, or in print. Subscribe to the Lehigh Valley's first source for news by calling 610-770-3731 or go to themorningcall.com/subscribe.
It's another orange out on Friday, May 9th for Game 4 of this series. That's also the anniversary of the longest game in AHL history. May 9, 2018 was Game 4 for Lehigh Valley at Charlotte. And we played 5 overtimes until 1:09 in the morning, and I hope we don't repeat that when we come back here for another game on May 9th. But if we do, then you'll know we have some May 9th history. Friday, May 9th, Game 4, and, well, the way this is going right now, maybe the Phantoms will be looking to knock off the Hershey Bears. They've got the big bullseye on their chest, the 2-time defending Calder Cup champions. And until somebody can knock them out of the playoffs, Hershey is the team to beat. If Lehigh Valley does it, then they'll suddenly become the team to beat, and everybody will notice, yep, this Phantoms team, they really are as loaded as we thought they were. Lexell came in, trying to cut around Aaron Ness. As he dumped it into the corner, they bump into each other. Now Lexell steals it in the corner for Iorio. Dropped it to the point, Hunter McDonald. Sliding one to the right point for Louisville. Petio and off the boards for Gaucher, who scored his 3rd shorty combined this year. Then Hendricks Lapierre stick lifted in the corner, but stayed with it. Finds Smallman and across to Iorio. There was a collision there with Lexell. Belpedio slams into Limoges. The Barons are in. Lapierre picked up over there in the corner by Hunter McDonald and dropping it up high. Iorio on a shot. Zayd Wisdom came out and blocked that shot of the former second-rounder defenseman Vincent Iorio. Did not play any games with Washington this year. Iorio just wrestled down Lexell, and then Iorio's helmet came off, and the referee's going to take them both to the box. They were tangled up behind the play where Vincent Iorio and Ole Lexell, and the referee decided enough is enough. He's got to get a handle on this thing and get control of these guys, and he does. And so it looks like we'll play 4-on-4 out of this. Friday night, May 9th, is Game 4. Another orange out. Tickets available online at phantomshockey.com. Everybody on the team was talking about it last week, and I know the fans were as well. Just the amazing energy and noise level in the building. And it's so tense, isn't it? You know, you got a tie game late in the 3rd in the playoffs. It's fun, but it is stressful, even as a fan. And Lappy, too. You know, he said, yeah, it's stressful, but it's fun. This is why we do this. And the Phantoms playing this tight checking, hard game, wanting to play like Hershey. They've been wanting this all season long. They don't want to change the way that they play into the playoffs. They've got 72 games of trying to play this way, and that's why they feel like they're ready for the playoffs. Kind of a big, heavy team. Block shot coming out there to get it now. Shepard will play it away from the chasing Ethan Sampson, who was there on the blue line and had a piece. Here comes Hershey, 4-on-4 after they took the offsetting roughing Miners. Scarbosa is in. Abel stays with him. Jake Massey on the point. 3:15 to go in the first. 1-0 Phantoms. Scarbosa had that turnover that led to their shorty. He's out there right now with Vecchione. And dialing it all the way back is Prisky. He'll carry it back behind his own goal, actually in front of his own goal. Andre staying with him. Now Emil Andre will back off for a change, and Hershey's playing this more like a 3-on-3 overtime as they take it back behind their own net. There is a lot more open ice out there, 4-on-4. Spencer Smallman carries it in across the line. He's there with Aaron Ness. Now he's going to dial it all the way back and try for a re-entry and a reload. Smallman is in with Hendricks Lapierre. Smallman lost it on the blue line. Belpedio Luchenko smelled blood. Came out there and deflected it away. They go across Grimes. He's in with Richard. Handing it off. Jennings. Nice save. Shepard. He denies Adam Jennings over there. Close call on the setup from Anthony Richard. And Luchenko came out aggressively pursuing the puck and stole it away. 30 seconds left, 4-on-4. Cross ice for Dubé. Off the blocker. Nice save. Parker Gahagan. That was a really nice stop. And his 7th save of the game. Shots are 7-4 Hershey. Banked forward away from the benches. Belpedio hits Wisdom in stride. Shooting! And reaching way over with the right pad. Hunter Shepard makes the denial on Zayd Wisdom, coming off that 2 short-handed goal game on Friday. Dubé is in. Chipped in down low. Andrew Parrott, the defenseman call from South Carolina in the lineup today. Swing and a miss with a centering pass. Comes all the way back out of the neutral zone. Iorio chased back there by Lexell as they both return from the sin bin and then find the biscuit coming their way. Lexell backs off for a change. 1:38 to go in the first. 1-0 Phantoms in Game 3. Series is even at 1 game apiece. Here comes Hershey, and now hanging out is Chase Prisky. They're going to take their time, get in a line change. Fans do not appreciate that Hershey is kind of being overly patient here. And now off the backhand of Jake Massey, who tried to chip it in, but ran into Giovanni Smith, who's shoving him off the puck. Denoye is in, trying to split the day. He got shoved down, a penalty on Hershey coming up. They interfered with L.A. Denoye. Phantoms pulling Gahagan. Hershey touches the puck and play blown down. It is a slashing minor, actually. that will give the Phantoms their second power play of the game. They're 0 for 1. And on the playoffs, 1 for 16. Luke Phil called for the slash as Elliot Denoye, who I thought played a very strong game on Friday. In his first look in the playoffs, he did not dress for the first 3 games. And in the 4th game of the postseason, got a chance, and he took over as the center on the 4th line for Rhett Gardner. And I thought Denoye was very strong, very energetic, and playing a lot bigger, too. I mean, he's on a line with Oscar Eklund and Giovanni Smith. We pointed that out to Ian LePerriere earlier, and he said, you'd play bigger, too, if you were on a line with those guys. You'd feel bigger. He pointed to Christy Fulkerson and said, even you would play bigger. Christy is not a very big person, but even she would play bigger on a line with Eklund and Giovanni Smith, so Denoye is too. Phantoms on the PPL power play. Andre, a kick stop on the right point on the drop from Ole Luxell. Luxell put it in down low. Almost back door! Oh, the pass blocked to him. He was trying to find Grabenkin, and then Iorio got a piece of it. Luxell in the corner, tossed up high for Gaucher. Right boards for Luxell. His pass intercepted. Sutter. 2-on-1. He's got Strome. Sutter centering. Strome couldn't get a stick on it. Not cleanly anyway. Just backhand deflected it over to the corner instead of on net. Matt Strome had 9 goals this year. Steals into the corner and then shoved away by Emil Andre to pick it right back up. 20 seconds to go on the power play, and here comes Emil Andre, gaining the red line, handing it off for Luxell. Weaveroo into the zone with Grabenkin, trying to give it in there, but broken up and cleared by Smallman. Way out of his crease in the corner, Gahagan hands it off to Belpedio. I don't think they'll have time for another rush. Belpedio scoops it up, and that's going to do it. And the first period comes to a close. A shorthanded unassisted goal for Jacob Gaucher at 12:23 into the first period. And the Phantoms take a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes. Well, we had some big hitting to start, but things settled down a little bit after that. Hasn't been too rough or violent out there. Gaucher just picked the pocket of Mike Scarposa and took it to the house. Downstairs to Christy Fulkerson with head coach Ian LePerriere.
They lead 1-0 after period number 1 in this Game 3 of the Atlantic Division semifinals. Let's go downstairs. Christy Fulkerson has head coach Ian LePerriere.
All right, thanks, Stan. Coach, talk about the first period and another shorthanded goal for your group, just finding a way to battle through and get those good looks.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, but we take too many penalties as it is right now, but we were able to find a way to score a goal short-handed, which is great, but we need to clean up some stuff 5-on-5 too. Right now, too many turnovers, and we just need to be a little bit smarter with that puck.
This is a team that thrives on space and transition. What have you liked about your team's defensive effort, or what do you want to see more of as the game goes on in that department?
We need to be a little bit tighter, and especially in the red zones where we need to manage that red zone a little bit better, manage the puck a little bit better, and we'll be fine. You just can't give them that many opportunity to come on transition, and we just need to be a little bit smarter.
Finally, you'll come out for the second half of the power play with a clean sheet of ice. What do you want to see from that group? Seems like they've been building some momentum even though they haven't been able to score.
Yeah, a little bit simpler. Like at the end with, at the end of a period, bad ice, I wish we were a little bit more direct to the net, and hopefully we'll start the period like that.
Thanks for the time.
All right, thank you.
All right, need to be more direct to the net and stop the turnovers. I mean, yes, it is a 1-0 lead for Lehigh Valley, but they take the penalties. And it doesn't sound like Ian LePerriere was overly thrilled with the way that his team played here in the first period. But they come away with a 1-0 lead, so all is okay right now for the Phantoms in Game 3 of the best-of-5 series. But, yeah, Hershey is attacking with speed when they're stealing the puck and they're getting some chances. A couple of their shots missing on Parker Gahagan, but if they keep on shooting and on the rush, that's going to be some tricky stuff for Lehigh Valley to have to handle. It is Lehigh Valley 1, Hershey 0 after 20 minutes. I had a conversation with Ian LePerriere earlier today and kind of talking about the Friday game and some other topics as well. That's coming up on the Capital Blue Cross Intermission Report in moments on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
What makes a bank? Branches on every corner, lunch hour crowds, and of course, hidden fees. That's why PSECU is not like your typical bank. We're the member-owned digital alternative that's put people over profits for nearly a century. Today, we're the financial wingman to more than 450,000 savers and spenders. So when it comes to helpful tips and tools, we bring it. Because when you gain the confidence to achieve your goals, that's us achieving ours. Become a member at psecu.com.
Phantoms Hockey is sponsored by Capital Blue Cross. For over 80 years, Capital Blue Cross has offered products and services that provide peace of mind and promote good health. For every age and stage of life, Capital Blue Cross is here for you. More information is at capitalbluecross.com.
Prepare to have your mind blown by Coke Zero Sugar with great Coke taste lasers.
Can we cut all that? That's not going to convince anyone. Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news. Some were skeptical. And none of this noise is going to convince you that Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste, because the only thing that'll make you believe that is trying it yourself.
And lasers!
No lasers. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Just Born Quality Confections hopes you're enjoying your evening supporting your Phantoms. Check out justborn.com to learn more about where to find our candies, including Peeps, Mike and Ike, Hot Tamales, and Goldenberg's Peanut Chews. We hope they add sweetness to your night.
Capital Blue Cross intermission report. 1-0 lead for the Lehigh Valley Phantoms after 20 minutes in Game 3 of the best-of-5 series in the Atlantic Division semifinals of the Calder Cup playoffs. Terrific win on Friday, 3-1. 2 shorthanded goals for Zayd Wisdom. Talked about it earlier today with head coach Ian LaPerriere.
Lappy, I wanted to get your take on the first game, Wednesday's game. A lot of shots for your guys, a lot of chances.
Yeah, chances on both sides, and they won.
I think we have the wrong interview there. Let me double back, everybody. Sometimes the audio files get a little goofy on me. So, stand by. I promise you I had a conversation with him. And here's the right one. Okay, take 2. Here I am chatting with Ian LaPerriere about the game on Friday.
Lappy, when we go back to the win on Friday and you talk about playoff hockey, but that's the kind of hockey you've wanted out of your team all year long, and part of the reason, I think, is because you can't just change how you're going to play in the playoffs. Your guys know how to do it because they've been doing it.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. I'm not sure about every coach's, but, you get the season to build your team, your structure, your style of play, and have the guys believe in what you're doing. And it's hard to play that like that, but we're playing a team that plays the same. I'm copying what he's doing. Let's be honest here. I'm not lying. I told you guys after my first year, Hershey is the team that I look up to. I love the way he coaches team. Doesn't matter how much talent they have. They all play the right way. And I think the way they're playing, the way we're trying to play, it's the winning way. And I'm a big believer in that. I was a believer in that when I played. And, that's my belief as a coach.
We talked about how beneficial it is for the young guys to experience the intensity of the playoffs. But now what about that style of playoff hockey and in that moment and block shots and all of that for guys like Luchenko and Bump to be part of that?
Yeah, everybody. You can go on the back end, too, for the guys like Ginner, like Grancy, Emil, and Sammy, McDonald, all those guys that one day are going to play at the next level. They have to live it here first, and for them to be in those tight games, intense games, and even that first game, we lost 3-0, but it was 1-0. We had a 5-on-3, could have been a 1-1 game. We made mistakes, and they make you pay, and that's playoff hockey, and they learn it, they live it, so they're getting better every day. They might not realize it now, but for them to go through it with us, it's just going to pay down the road.
All season long, you talk about staying in the moment, and they had a close-up of the bench after Richard scored the goal that made it 1-0 at the end of the second, and you looked really serious. Snowy did, the players did. Everyone's still dialed in. Nobody's getting carried away with it. It's only 1-0. That's the kind of focus that your guys had at that moment.
Yeah, can't get too high, can't get too low. It's hard, trust me. There's especially last game with the amount of penalties at the time and, calls, and it took forever for reviews, and I'm like, holy cow, we try to keep it inside because, it's my 4th year as a head coach, and I really realized when a head coach loses this, behind the bench, it triggers down on the bench. And especially up front. We're young, and, I don't want to do that. I don't want to rattle them. But you're right. Like, for me, having those veteran players on the bench, staying calm helped me and helped the kids next to them.
How do you navigate that about telling your guys, we got to stay out of the box, but then the officiating is inconsistent and you don't know what's going to happen? That's a hard balance.
It is, but you got to... It's a beautiful league, my friend. Like, it's just like, it's, it's even up. I feel like, they miss calls, or they, like for me, Wills, that was in 5 minutes, borderline 2 minutes. And for me, that penalty is like 4 official out there didn't see it, and all of a sudden the linesman goes, it tells the ref that, hey, it was a major. I'm like, how can you do that? Like, it's more like, that's when I got to stay calm and remind myself, what, they're human, they make mistakes, and we move on. And, they missed the elbow on Sammy. It was only a 2 minutes. And it's just like, trust me, there's a lot going in my head on the bench when I see those things. But at the end of the day, whatever I portray, it pays for my players. If I snap, if I lose which I do, trust me, I'm no angel behind the bench. I'm an emotional guy, as you guys know. But I need to, especially at this time of the year, I need to stay a little bit more calmer.
But for the most part, from what I could see, and maybe it's different from where you are, I didn't see guys freaking out. Like, Andre gets called for a trip. I didn't see a replay. I didn't think he got him. A year and a half ago, beginning of last season, Andre's reaction is going to be different than what it was then, where he just goes to the box and, okay, let's go kill this.
Yeah, Andy's been great. Like, last year, you're right. Last year was an emotional kid. Like, he's learning the new. It's new. It's different hockey than it is in Sweden, and bigger ice, and he's getting hit all the time. They know he's a big target out there. He's one of our best Ds. So last year was different. He learned. That's part of the growth in every player, and that's why they better live it here than live it at the NHL. They get called up too quickly, and all of a sudden, up there is a different, it's different. It's better for them to, just like you said, experience it last year, be better this year, and in the playoffs right now, he stays calm under pressure.
That is part of learning the composure here. I mean, it is cranked up here at the AHL level, but it allows them that opportunity to learn that kind of composure. And a guy like Emil Andre, he was not as composed after he would get called for a penalty early last season. He was kind of struggling to find the line there that needed to be balanced. He certainly got better at that, but also, regulating his outbursts. And Lappy really wants his team to not just blow up and freak out every time a call goes against his team. They've done a great job of that, and we really saw that on display in the game on Friday, I thought, with some of the inconsistent officiating and everything going on. Obviously, Garrett Wilson was not happy after he got tossed from the game, and maybe not justified, because that boarding major, was it really a major penalty? Lieberman was hurt and does not return to the playoffs. I know the Hershey fans thought that there should have been a suspension or supplemental discipline there on Garrett Wilson. I think that's really debatable. Anyway, I sort of overlook that when Garrett was tossed from the game and yelling at the referee on his way off. That's different. For the most part, some of the calls, Lehigh Valley just sort of settled in, kept on doing their own thing. I really enjoyed that conversation earlier today with Ian LePerriere. Here on the Capital Blue Cross Intermission Report, only 5 shots on goal in the first for the Phantoms. They just had 15 shots on Friday. That was good enough for a 3-1 win. And here in Game 3 of this best-of-5 series, the Phantoms, a 1-0 lead over the Hershey Bears after 20 minutes on Real Oldies 1470 and the Phantoms 365 app and the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
At Bethlehem Landfill, we're more than just a waste disposal site. We're a vital part of our community. Bethlehem Landfill provides the Lehigh Valley with environmentally safe and cost-effective waste disposal for residential, commercial construction, and demolition waste. But it's not just about waste. We're committed to giving back to our community, funding local environmental scholarships, and supporting initiatives that make our neighborhoods a better place to live and work. Bethlehem Landfill, your trusted partner in waste disposal and community growth.
What can you do with business phone from Penn Teledata?
Make a conference call from the coffee shop.
Or connect from the back 9.
With unlimited phone services, 24-hour support, and mobile synergy, our cloud-based technology makes it easy to do business from anywhere. And we do mean anywhere.
No more being stuck in the office.
Which is great for everyone, I think.
Add cloud-based business phone service from Penn Teledata.
Let's go get ya Yakult. You know it's always been the best. Let's go get Yakult for quality that beats the rest. They got cheesesteaks, French fries. The famous Yakult hot dog is known worldwide. Let's go get Yakult. The secret sauce is one of a kind.
Pallet Express Inc. is an American-owned and family-operated pallet recycler established in 1985 in Easton. Our outstanding service and quality have been proven number one in the Northeast. Pallet Express has and will always prioritize our same-day, next-day delivery and pickup service. Let Pallet Express Inc. service any and all of your pallet problems and necessities so you're operating with a clean and efficient warehouse operation. We service and build anything from small custom orders to large-scale recycled and new pallet orders. Contact us today by phone, email, or on our website, palletexp.com.
The glove of Giovanni Smith Eklund. Cross ice to Noye. He's in past Parent. Backhanded onto Hunter Shepard. A nice save. And a penalty is coming up against the Hershey Bears here. On the move, the fourth liners in Illinois, who had a particularly strong game on Friday in his first chance in the playoffs, and he got off the first shot of the game for Lehigh Valley. Around the wall, bad bounce. Lixell steals for the Phantoms. Cross ice for Wiz. He's in, dangles. Oh, what a great stop. I think that's off the post. Wisdom and a great dangle around Pierre Dubé. Worked his way through. Shot it to the glove side of Hunter Shepard. Hit it off the iron and out. The game, I didn't think it was a trip, but I never saw a replay of it. And that happened early. Oh, here's a steal. Gaucher, shorthanded, score! Are you kidding me? Jacob Gaucher picks it off, walks right in, flips through the backhander. 1-0 Phantoms. Jacob Gaucher pressuring and jumps all over that awkward pass. Try for a re-entry and a reload. Smallman is in with Henrik Lapierre. Smallman lost it on the blue line. Belpedio Luchenko smelled blood. Came out there and deflected it away. They go across Grimes. He's in with Richard. Handing it off. Schenning. Nice save. Shepard. He denies Adam Schenning over there. Close call on the setup from Anthony Richard. And Luchenko came out aggressively pursuing the puck and stole it away. 30 seconds left, 4-on-4. Cross ice for Dubé. Off the blocker. Nice save. Parker Gahagan. That was a really nice stop. And his 7th save of the game. Shot. Truest audio rewind highlight sounds of the game from the first period in Lehigh Valley with a 1-0 lead over Hershey here in Game 3 of the best-of-5 series. I'm telling you, it's just sort of a different animal here. Hershey is not all world like they were last year when they had 111 points and were far and away the top team in the American Hockey League. Here they did finish in first in the division. They got off to a really hot start, and then they just sort of, hung on from there because nobody was able to take it from them. But Hershey went through some really weird bumps and weird stretches along the way. And they were not that good overall. They were fine. They were a first-place team, but not dominating. Lehigh Valley went 5-4-1 against Hershey in the regular season. Now 1-1 against them in the playoffs. And the Phantoms, they're a reloaded team, and they are boosted. They are the better team from what they were a year ago and the year before that when they made the playoffs. They lost to Charlotte in the first round 2 years ago. They advanced in the first round last year and then lost to Hershey in the second round. This team is better than both of those teams, with Lixell, Abels, Andre, the reinforcements, and then the new prospects, the guys like Alex Bump, Jet Luchenko, Nikita Krupenkin. This team is absolutely better than the team from a year ago. They got a really good chance here against this Hershey Bears team, and they're showing it. They have a 1-0 lead here in Game 3. Jacob Gaucher, unassisted at 11:23, shorthanded breakaway goal, and a 1-0 lead for the Lehigh Valley Phantoms after 20 minutes. Hershey outshot Lehigh Valley 7-5. Both teams 0 for 2 on the power play. Phantoms get 55 seconds on the power play when we return with the second period coming up. That's your NJM Insurance Stats and Scoring Recap. Period number 2 on the way. This has been the Capital Blue Cross Intermission Report on Real Oldies 1470 and the Phantom 365 app on WSAN Allentown and the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
What makes a bank? Branches on every corner, lunch hour crowds, and of course, hidden fees. That's why PSECU is not like your typical bank. We're the member-owned digital alternative that's put people over profits for nearly a century. Today, we're the financial wingman to more than 450,000 savers and spenders. So when it comes to helpful tips and tools, we bring it. Because when you gain the confidence to achieve your goals, that's us achieving ours. Become a member at psecu.com.
When Miller Keystone Blood Center calls, I say yes. Did you know 25% of us will need a blood transfusion in our lifetime? It could be me. It could be you, a family member, or a friend. Please give blood so it is available for the next premature infant, cancer patient, accident victim, or others in need. You'll be saving a life right here in our community. To schedule your donation, call 1-800-BE-A-DONOR or visit giveapint.org today, because when you give, people live.
Out-of-town scoreboard, Cleveland wins at Laval 3-1. After Laval won twice in Cleveland, Ohio to take a 2-0 lead, Cleveland punches back in Game 3. Dylan Gambrell had a pair. Roman Ashan scored in the third. They had a 3-0 lead before Laval broke through. Cleveland Monsters stay alive, and they win Game 3, 3-1. Providence and Charlotte coming up at 7 o'clock. Driven down ice. There's Gahagan diving. What is he doing? He dives all the way over to his left to catch it, dump it, and hand it off. I love it, Parks. That was great. Jet Luchenko and the handoff for Anthony Richard on the power play. Here comes Richie and up to the middle. And then Hershey trying to block it down. Boy, Garrett Wilson all over him, almost kept it in, and then it's sent all the way down. And there's Gahagan not diving for the puck in the corner and handing it off to Louis Belpedio with 18 seconds to go on the slashing penalty against Luke Phil. Phantoms in across the line and hanging on to it on the left boards, up high for Wilson on a little drop from Bump. And now it's Belpedio and Luchenko. Belpedio shoots. Shepard, little shimmy move to his right. The shot missed. Bump there on the left boards. We're back to 5-on-5 now. Phantoms go to 0 for 2 on the power play. And the Bears will bounce one between the two D, Belpedio and Andre, all the way to the Phantom side. That is an icing, so an offensive zone faceoff for Lehigh Valley is on the way. Game 4 of this playoff series, Friday night. Tickets available at phantomshockey.com. Wear your orange of the game. Bring back your rally towels as well. Lehigh Valley's power plays haven't exactly done a whole lot, unfortunately, but neither of Hershey's, and the Phantoms scored another shorty. Ian LePerriere did not seem particularly impressed with how his team played, because Hershey's getting some chances on the rush in transition. Their shots are missing. Now the Phantoms pick it off. Lexell tried to dangle it a little bit around Iorio. But Iorio picked it right back up. Absorbed a hit from Gaucher while Andre scoots back there to scoop it up. And then Wisdom right there across it on the tape. Gaucher. Wisdom got hit in the chops by Spencer Smallman, I think. Boy, really awkward looking as Wisdom comes over to the bench. And maybe his helmet, hit him in the side of the face. So Zane Wisdom is getting looked at over there. Yeah, he's got a towel on the side of the face now. So his helmet got jarred awkwardly. He took off the helmet, and Wisdom is holding a towel to the left side of his head at the bench while the Phantoms cut in, and Bump tried to put on a move. Well, the moves just aren't there to be made for Alex Bump. And he was even trying them the last couple of games, just not able to do as much. Against Wilkes-Barre Scranton, he had a couple goals in Game 1 2 Wednesdays ago. Long shot from the point, punched away off the blocker of Gahagan. There's just not as much room to move. They don't give you an inch. And there were a couple of times where Bump came over to the bench and had hung on to it too long, lost the puck, came to the bench and kind of looked at Lappy and said, I know. So he's learning. This is what it is in the pros. Here's Gerbankin cutting in and a shot. Hit off the leg. Diving in for it. Jab just a little bit wide and a close call for Bump. Hit off a skate. Hershey 3-on-2 the other way. Scarbosa, Vecchione, cross-side shot save. Vecchione backdoor, missed the open net. Boy, oh boy, how did he miss that one? Vecchione's missed a couple wide open nets in this series. And they really should have had that on the 3-on-2, and Dubé found Vecchione on the other side. Now an intercept for Hershey at center. Strome takes the little flip lead from Lamone, dropping. Parrott scores. Andrew Parrott from the blue line. Center point blast. Powered through maybe 5-0 on Parker Gahagan. We're tied at 1-1. Andrew Parrott will lead the high-five line. I don't know if it was tipped by a Phantoms player. I think maybe Gahagan screened a little bit as Hershey kept on charging ahead. Andrew Parrott, who spent more of the season in the ECHL with the South Carolina Stingrays than he did with Hershey, but enters the lineup for the injured Nicky Lieberman, who left the game on Friday after he was boarded by Garrett Wilson. And Andrew Parrott, the defenseman, with only one goal with Hershey this year in 19 games, is the one to break through for the Hershey Bears, and you could hear some of the Hershey fans cheering as well. I mean, we had plenty of orange in the crowd at Giant Center on Wednesday and Friday. No surprise, the chocolate and white travel and support for their crew here at PPL Center on Sunday. And they were here quite a bit when they clinched the series last year on May 11th. I mean, they were whooping it up. And why not? A first-round win and only an hour and change away from Giant Center. Here comes Hershey into the zone and Iorio. 1-1 tie. Yeah, Lappy was talking about need to clean up some stuff. 5-on-5, too many turnovers. Well, that kind of cost him there in the second. Shot off the pass to Gahagan, who scrambles over to his left. Took a little stumble, but he's okay and back up. Ness shooting it a little wide of the reach of the glove of Gahagan, who actually had a little contact there, I think, with Belpedio, and once again back up, and the Phantoms couldn't get the exit. Henrik Lapierre for Iorio, winding, faking. Treneyev shooting from the left dot around Hunter McDonald on to Gahagan, the save. Treneyev bumping in on Hunter McDonald after the save by Gahagan. And then hearing about it a little bit as well from Louis Belpedio out there. Yeah, Louis Belpedio is such an important piece for this team. You know, Lappy says he's pretty much my Garrett Wilson on the blue line, on the back end. He's the alternate captain and the leader. And you've got some other guys with leadership qualities back there. You know, Adam Jennings and Helga Grans spring to mind. Hunter McDonald's a rookie. And Emil Andre, too, actually, you know. I mean, but Louis Belpedio, he's your guy, the older of the bunch. Long lead pass. Luchenko couldn't touch it, but he just outraced Luke Phil for the puck to beat the icing. Hunter Shepard slammed it over the corner. Bump picked it up on the left boards, handing it off and an intercept for Hershey. And here comes Treneyev. Tried a little chip past Ethan Sampson. He was wise to it and pushes it up there for Bump. In with Wilson on this line with Luchenko. Cross ice for Andre. Stolen by Hershey as the pass kind of went through Andre. Nice idea by Garrett. Here's Miroshnichenko. He scores. Oh, no. Ivan Miroshnichenko shooting on the rush and in transition. And the Bears score them back-to-back. It's Hershey 2, Lehigh Valley 1. Ivan Miroshnichenko had 2 goals in their playoff clinching win here last year in Game 4 and had 23 goals in the regular season. The first rounder, Miroshnichenko, beats Gahagan to the glove side. They score them a minute and a half apart, and just like that, the tables have turned. And all the momentum for the Hershey Bears now in the form of a 2-1 lead with 15:32 to go in the second period. I feel like that shot might have been tipped off a stick. Yeah, it just floated past the glove of Gahagan. Miroshnichenko's shot hit off a stick of a Phantoms defender backpedaling, I think. And it was almost knuckling and kind of tumbling end over end. And it looked like it just glanced off the glove of Gahagan there, off the fingertips. And so a frustrating one to allow. And the other one was a point shot, but there was some traffic, you know, and they get that shot on the rush. It's tough to handle, and bounces happen in hockey. Hershey scoops it up, driving it in deep. Shots are 14-6 Hershey. Phantoms begin this second period with a power play, but the shots are now 7-1 in the period, even though Lehigh Valley began the period with a power play. Anthony Richard, boys, he had some terrific history in the Calder Cup playoffs. Oh, centering pass for Hershey out in front. Center out a backhand on it. Couldn't get off a shot. And Adam Jennings will chase it down along the boards. And now a lead pass, and here comes Richard scooting into the zone. Wanted to turn the corner on Parrott. Can't do it. Now he got in there for Grabenkin on the other side. Belpedio holds the line on a shot. Didn't make it through. Prisky blocks it down. Hershey wants the transition game going again. Not quite there, 3-on-3, and Prisky wants to get off for a change, so he whipped it around the boards. Belpedio hands it off to Jacob Gaucher. Carrying in behind goaltender Parker Gahagan. Backhanding it up on the wall and through Hunter McDonald and back to the Hershey side. Long lead pass back the other way. Miroshnichenko trying to find Scarbosa. Nicely done. Belpedio breaks it up with a backhand. Chips it up high in the air off the penalty box door glass. Into the zone. Here comes Oleg Selin after it. want to get Ollie going here a little bit. He was thumped down a couple of times in game 2. Excel turning, shooting. Blocked down John McDonald, picked up, and Zayd Wisdom, who hit the post in the first, trying to put it back on net. That one found a body as well. Phantoms, Belpedio finds Wisdom right in front of Phantoms head coach Ian LePerriere. He knew his team was living on borrowed time. They had a 1-0 lead, but too many turnovers, too much transition opportunity for Hershey. He said they got to clean that up, but they haven't been able to do it here in the second. Not enough anyway, and the Hershey Bears take advantage and take a 2-1 lead. Now the Phantoms are charging back in, and a shot from the left wing is on to Hunter Shepard with the save, and a little bit of a wrestling match and a scrum in front of Shepard after that shot by Oil Excel. Hunter McDonald was going in there after it, trying to cause some chaos, stir the pot a little bit, maybe get the emotions going here a little bit more as well. You know, get everybody kind of excited. And the officials come in and break up the parties very quickly. So we step aside for this break, and all of a sudden the Hershey Bears have the lead. 13:26 to go in the second. It's Hershey 2, Lehigh Valley 1. Game 3 of the Atlantic Division semifinals of the Calder Cup playoffs on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
This is the place we call home. A place filled with pride and determination. A place with rich heritage and stories to be told. A place with a bright and growing future. This is the place we're proud of. This is the place for the people you know and the news you trust. 69 News. Weeknights at 4, 5, 6, and 10.
Hockey fans, every great play starts with vision, and so does every great project. At Steel Horizon Drone Solutions, we deliver stunning results that turn your big ideas into reality. From real estate to drone tours, inspections, site progression photos, and more. We'll give you the aerial advantage. Capture your greatest moments from the air with us. Visit SteelHorizonDrones.com to get started today. Back inside PBL Center, it is a 2-1 lead for the Hershey Bears now with 13:26 remaining in the second. Shots in the game, Hershey 14 and Lehigh Valley 7. Shots in the period, Hershey 7, Lehigh Valley 2. And so that is not good. And goals for Andrew Parent and Ivan Miroshnichenko at 3:03 and at 4:28. So just a minute 25 apart. The Hershey Bears score on back-to-back. And the Phantoms will be having to contend with some adversity here now and try to push through some of the panic buttons. You know, don't hit that. Here comes Lehigh Valley in. Shepard's got it. He hangs on. Oh, and a takedown on the side of the net. What was that? Garrett Wilson was hauled down over there by Iorio. Andre is getting in there on Spencer Smallman. There's Andre giving him a little extra shove. All right, they're coming apart here, but it is escalating again. Now with 12:59 to go in the second. Andrew Parrott's first at 3:03 for Matt Strome and Alex Limoges. Ivan Miroshnichenko shoots it in transition on the move. And maybe off the stick of a Phantoms defenseman, perhaps fluttering it in at 4:27 into the second. A minute 25 later to give the Bears the lead. Face-off in the Hershey zone. Bears win the draw. They were lousy on the face-offs. Back in the game on Friday. That was a difference maker for Lehigh Valley in many ways. Scooped up by Hunter Shepard as it was sent in deep, and he just comes wide of the net. Grabenkin and Treneyev about ready to party as they exchange some Russian unpleasantries at each other. Face off in the Hershey Bears zone, circle right of Hunter Shepard. Rodrigo Abels is on the draw. And the faceoff won by Luke Philp. And the Hershey Bears on the move, and here comes Miroshnichenko up the left wing. On the move, a shot, Philp. Nice save, Parker Gahagan there. Scooped up Trenaev on the left boards. Decent feisty player. Decent shot there, fourth or third line guy. Escorted out to center and then driven right back in. Gahagan handing it off. Jennings in a little trouble. They got a grab on him. Miroshnichenko stole it. Abels just maybe saved a goal because that centering pass would have found Trenaev. Long shot for the point. Prisky and a blocker save Gahagan. Well, this game has a distinctly different feel than what we had on Friday. Not nearly as tight. Hershey kind of getting in there and opening it up some, I guess, is the best way to put it. They wanted to get it moving against the Phantoms, and they have certainly done a nice job of that. Phantoms dumped it around the boards. I mean, it's hard to play that kind of tight-checking, hard game, blocking shots and everything. Grabenkin in trouble. All over him was Massey and pushing it out of the neutral zone after Grabenkin held onto it for a tick. I think he thought he had a little more time than he really did. Gaucher keeps it on the blue line. No, he didn't. Goes behind the blue line offside. And boys will be boys. Here we go again. Hunter McDonald over there. I think we have Dalton Smith in there as well in the lineup today, giving them a little extra juice and toughness as he replaces Henrik Rubinski in the lineup after Lehigh Valley. I think kind of punished them and intimidated them a good amount in game 2. We were not at all surprised to see that lineup change and to put Dalton Smith out there. Because it's more than just Garrett Wilson this year. You've got Giovanni Smith, Eklund, and Abels, and they throw the body around some. Hunter McDonald too. Adam Jennings can get feisty when you need him to. Here comes Dalton Smith out there on the neutral zone faceoff with Lapierre and Strome. So they're even changing the lines and keeping Dalton Smith there while the Phantoms fourth liners are on the ice in the neutral zone draw. So this is some interesting lineup decision work for their head coach Todd Nelson as well. Ella Denoye wins the faceoff clean. Good work. He was gone from center last year to wing, now playing center again on this fourth line and played really well Friday. Belpedio a little bit of a takedown as he slammed into Dalton Smith. Those two have kind of partied before, and while I'm talking about tough guys, let's not underestimate and understate the toughness of Louis Belpedio and how important he can be when he gets feisty. Hunter McDonald in, throws it around the wall, looking for Denoye, and then hammered out of there. Not quite, kept in Eklund. Here's Giovanni Smith, and a shot deflected in front and dribbles over to the other side. Strome connects up ice, bounces over the stick of Giovanni Smith. Henrik Lapierre got rocked in a hip check by Louis Belpedio. What a great hit by Belpedio as he just crushed Lapierre along the boards and sent him tumbling. Belpedio was going after another guy, Andrew Parrott, with a goal today, but Parrott just scooted right past him, trying to hand it off for Scarbosa, who had the turnover that led to the Jacob Gaucher short-handed goal. Now the Phantoms chip it up. Lexell has Gaucher in the middle. Lexell shooting and a save. Hunter Shepard off the blocker, denying Ole Lexell. Well, Gaucher was kind of covered on the other side, and you want Ole Lexell to shoot it if he sees it. Aiming for the far post, Shepard got there. The Bears are in. Scarbosa, a little backhander, great save. Parker Gahagan kicked out the right pad and made a dandy. Prisky a shot. That hit off of a skate and bounces over to the corner. Vecchione took a little shove in the back from Ethan Sampson. Sampson trying to win it back from Mike Vecchione. Scarbosa is in there as well to push it free. Emil Andre comes up with it now for Lehigh Valley with 9:38 to go in the second. Hershey 2, Lehigh Valley 1. Shepard and Gahagan matching each other with a couple of really nice strong stops. Here comes Andre. Long stretch pass connects on the tape. Wilson circles and swirls and try to headman for Luchenko and just didn't quite connect. But Wilson steals over the Hershey line. The Bears got it back. Henrik Lapierre dodges away from the Phantoms captain to start it up again for the Bears. And I guess he's okay after he got rocked by Belpedio earlier. And he got it back up into the zone on the tape from Prisky. Wanted to dangle on Ginning, who was wise to it, and dispossesses him of the biscuit. Andre chipped it up along the Hershey bench in front of their head coach, Todd Nelson. And now cross eyes. Here's Ginning and up the left wing, shooting into the glove of Hunter Shepard, who's got it. Then a collision there. Couple bodies tumbling and crashing around Hunter Shepard. Garrett Wilson is chirping and hopping mad. They're exchanging more words than shoves right now. But it's escalating. The temperature is rising. 8:48 to go in the second. Hershey 2, Lehigh Valley 1 on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
Just Born Quality Confections hopes you're enjoying your evening supporting your Phantoms. Check out justborn.com to learn more about where to find our candies, including Peeps, Mike and Ike, Hot Tamales, and Goldenberg's Peanut Chews. We hope they add sweetness to your night.
Pallet Express Inc. is an American-owned and family-operated pallet recycler established in 1985 in Easton. Our outstanding service and quality have been proven #1 in the Northeast. Pallet Express has and will always prioritize our same-day, next-day delivery and pickup service. Let Pallet Express Inc. service any and all of your pallet problems and necessities so you're operating with a clean and efficient warehouse operation. We service and build anything from small custom orders to large-scale recycled and new pallet orders. Contact us today by phone, email, or on our website, palletexp.com.
Parker Gahagan made a terrific save, kicking out the right leg on a shot earlier. And he exits. He looked awkward after he made that save. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to cause any concern. But he looked really awkward after he made that save. And he is out of the game. He hung in there for the rest of the shift. But Cal Peterson is on for Lehigh Valley and has replaced Parker Gahagan. So Cal Peterson enters the game cold as Parker Gahagan leaves with an injury. I'm telling you, I could see it when he kicked out that right pad and made that save. And an ankle or a groin or what. But, oh, huge hit there. Trineyev got clobbered. Man, oh man, as it sent all the way back into the Lehigh Valley end in front of new goaltender Cal Peterson. That wasn't Grabenkin that got him. I think that was Ginning that got him on that hit. So Cal Peterson comes on for the injured Parker Gahagan, who hobbles off the ice awkwardly. Here's a long lead pass, Hershey. It's tipped in deep, and Cal Peterson behind the goal handles it over to Ginning. He barely got a right pad on that and kicked out his leg. And then while play was still going on, Parker looked to me to be struggling, and well, he just confirmed it that he really did feel it there, leaving the game in the next break. Here's a shot onto the glove of Cal Peterson hanging on with 7:52 to go in the second. So at 11:12 of the second period, Cal Peterson is on for Gahagan. Earlier today, it was officially announced that goaltender Keith Petruzzelli was recalled from the Reading Royals, whose season ended last week in a 4-0 playoff sweep at the hands of the Trois-Rivières Lions. Prisky shooting. Nice block. Wisdom. Lead pass trying to hit him on the breakaway. Lixell past the D. Great save. Shepard. They hit Lixell in stride. He had to shoot it from a little further out because Strome, I think, was hustling back. Had the angle on him a little bit, but Lixell got off a good shot, and Shepard made a great pad save. The Petruzzelli recall, and of course he was with us for part of this season. There were no panic buttons to be pushed there. The Phantoms needed a third goalie in case something happened. Well, guess what? Something just happened. There are two other goaltenders on the roster, Eetu Mäkiniemi and Carson Bjarnason. But both players are unavailable. Carson Bjarnason had just finished his season with Brandon in the Western Hockey League, the Brandon Wheat Kings. And we were hoping he might get to play a game, but I think he was a little dinged up. So he is, I believe, not available to play. And Eetu Mäkiniemi hasn't played since November 16th. He had surgery in St. Louis a couple of weeks after that. And is still out. So the Phantoms, you need a third goalie. And you don't have anybody that you can recall. And Petrozelli, is hanging around going, do I go home? What do we do here? Well, the Phantoms only have two goalies, and you want that backup plan. And so now we have it. If Gahagan is unable to go again next week, then Petrozelli would be available to dress as the backup goalie unless Carson Bjarnason is ready. But I think it would probably be Petrozelli. Turnover and a shot right on Peterson, the save on Vecchione. So we're counting on Cal coming in cold to make some big saves. John McDonald shoots it wide. Casts the glove on the lefty-style playing goaltender, Cal Peterson. Lehigh Valley pushed it up ice. Here comes Lexellin across the red line, shooting it in deep. Delayed penalty coming up on the Bears. There's wisdom all over John McDonald. Yeah, it goes on and on. Isn't it interesting? We have... both sides have a player named Smith. We have Giovanni Smith, and now they have tough guy Dalton Smith. And both teams have a player named McDonald. And so Giovanni Smith and Dalton Smith for the Phantoms and Bears, they're both fourth liners. And then the guys named McDonald, they're both defensemen. Hunter McDonald for the Phantoms, John McDonald for Hershey. Cal Peterson just came over to the bench here before Lehigh Valley is starting this power play. Phantoms down 2-1 with 7 minutes to go in the second. Hershey scored on back-to-back against Parker Gahagan. Of course, this was before he got injured. I can't even remember who got off that shot. Was it Lapierre? Somebody got off a shot where Gahagan really just got a piece of it on the end there with the right pad. It was a heck of a good save, but I could tell from up here, making that save, it looked to be an issue for Parker, and he played the rest of the shift. But then once we got to the break, he knew, and he came right off. Richard Wilson, back door, goal! On the rebound of the Luchenko shot, and Garrett Wilson buries it past Hunter Shepard. It's the captain. It's a power play goal. We're tied at 2-2. Garrett Wilson on the rebound of the Jeff Luchenko shot. Shepard made a great save on the back door. Oh, what a save on the right pad, but Garrett Wilson got right there to it as he was able to reach his stick right through on Aaron Ness and put it in. After he set up Luchenko on the back door, and Wilson got there fast. I mean, that was the difference. He was the first one there. Wilson from Luchenko, power play goal. It's a 2-2 tie. There's your captain. Garrett Wilson, 700 career AHL games, his 5th year with the Phantoms. The most games in Lehigh Valley history. He broke Greg Carey's record, 14 goals on the regular season. And Wilson from Luchenko and Richard. The penalty was Pierre Dubé for holding at 13 minutes. It took the Phantoms 9 seconds off the face-off win on the power play. Aaron Ness for Lapierre. Put it down low. Belpedio and another shot through the blue. And remember, Hershey smells blood. They know Cal Peterson, coming in cold. That's tough. Now he's been in the game a little bit, but still getting his feet wet. Limoges tried a shot on the move. Belpedio blocked it. Turnover. Phantoms. Lapierre centered out in front. Smallman couldn't get off a shot. Backhander from the other side. Limoges put it through the low slot, but the Bears keep it in. John McDonald has it, and over to Andrew Perrin with a shot through traffic. Hit off a body in front. Maybe Belpedio. John McDonald to the left circle. That maybe goes off the right shoulder of Peterson. Hershey wants to get some target practice going. They just want to shoot one after another if they can. Rolled around to the left point, and there's Andrew Perrin stepping up. Scored from center point earlier in the period. Limoges wants to wrap around across to Smallman. Couldn't get off the shot. Good D there. Hunter McDonald got a stick. They're still wrestling around. Couple bodies take a tumble there along the half wall. Luchenko and Limoges as the Phantoms find an exit and finally get a clear. Turn down the pressure from their side a little bit, but Hershey's ready to crank it up again. Shots are Hershey 21, Lehigh Valley 13. Shots in the period, Hershey 14, Lehigh Valley 8. So, yeah, we've certainly opened up the game a little bit here. There was a big collision there. Fans wanted a call. Giovanni Smith slammed into by Chase Prisky. Giovanni Smith just stands like it was nothing. He holds on right there in his spot. Elliot Denoye in the left boards and pushed it in down low for Giovanni Smith, and then stolen. Prisky and should say Luke Phil, but the pass deflected back to the Phantom side. Miroshnichenko wants to steal. Phantoms cleared out the center, and Jake Massey the intercept, and he connects with Phil. Trying to shoot, going down to Anita Pocket. Adam Zinning, he does it again. Zinning goes back there and blocking another shot. Belpedio ran into Miroshnichenko and the referee as well. The puck pushed up ice. Eklund 1-on-2 goes wide of a man. Shoots it onto Hunter Shepard, who makes a nice save. Oscar Eklund skating right to left, going wide on Chase Prisky. Got off a pretty decent shot on the move, but Hunter Shepard moving laterally stayed there with it and hangs on, swallows it in. Play blown down with 4:25 to go in the second period. Cal Peterson has not played since April 18th, so it's been a long time since the veteran goaltender has seen action. But you know he's ready to go, and he has that mentality, and he knows, even as a relief goalie, he knows it can come at any time. It came right now. That's our story of the game here, sort of reminiscent of 2017 in the playoffs. Remember when Alex Lyon went down against Hershey? Well, here's Cal Peterson coming on and made a couple nice stops, too, upon entering the game. 2-2 with 4:25 to go in the second on the Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
Leader of the pack, Canine Institute in the Lehigh Valley, creating happy, balanced dogs 1 liter at a time. Obedience and socialization classes and training, grooming, and boarding. 6346 Farm Bureau Road in Allentown. And Leader of the Pack's second location, a state-of-the-art 28,000 square foot facility located at 1200 Braden Boulevard in Easton. That's the Leader of the Pack, Canine Institute of the Lehigh Valley. Online at lopci.com. Phantoms hockey tonight on the Phantoms 365 app, and the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network is also brought to you in part by Velaspan Mobility Delivered, Lehigh Valley International Airport, your neighborhood airport with 13 nonstop destinations. Lehigh Valley International Airport connects you to the world. And by Macy Printing, official printer of the Lehigh Valley Phantoms.
4:25 to go in the second period. Cal Peterson came on in relief for the injured Parker Gahagan, who left with what appeared to be a lower body injury. 2-2 tie in Game 3. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. Anthony Richard of the Phantoms. Grabenkin emerges with it. Here's Andre in. And he hung on to it. It comes off the end board. Goal! It's Grabenkin! He buries the top shelf! After the shot was blocked and deflected off the end boards, it comes out to Nikita, who roughs it and gives the Phantoms the lead again. It's 3-2, Lehigh Valley. Boy, he was ready to rock that one through. Came out hot off the end boards. And Nikita Grabenkin with a mighty blast with his first playoff goal. Andre's shot hit off the body. It might have been Richard who chipped it back there to him off the end boards. Now I want to see. Grabenkin was ready. And he just ripped it. Phantoms back in front, 3-2. Nice shot, kid. Nikita Grabenkin, who just had a birthday with a terrific assist on Friday on the Anthony Richard goal. Just turned 22 years old. He played 7 NHL games this year for the Toronto Maple Leafs. In the words of Ian LePerriere, Flyers fans should be excited. You know, and he's on this line with Rodrigo Avels, who can speak Russian and has that kind of almost coach's presence. Not just a leadership presence, but a coach's presence. Penalty on the Phantoms. And Zayd Wisdom kind of tosses the puck away in sort of a, you got to be kidding me type of demonstration. Gaucher for slashing. Hershey power play with 3:59 to go in the second. Lehigh Valley 3, Hershey 2. The Phantoms with 3 shorthanded goals. Hershey is 1 for 12 on the power play in this series. I mean, Gaucher is going for the puck, and then the stick goes out of the hands of Scarbosa, whoever that was. That was Scarbosa. And, you know, that doesn't seem like a slash to me, but you know, I know why they're calling it, but come on. He's playing the puck there. He's not trying to get a slash on him at all. Nikita Grabenkin from Emil Andre and Anthony Richard at 15:51. So the Phantoms were down 2-1. They score them back-to-back. 2 minutes and 40 seconds apart. Garrett Wilson on the power play and Nikita Grabenkin 5-on-5. And this after the Phantoms lost their starting goalie to injury, Parker Gahagan, and there's Cal Peterson coming in fresh, and there's Miroshnichenko with a goal today. Shooting, it was blocked by Hunter McDonald, comes out to Miroshnichenko. Left point, Scarbosa, picked up over there by Wisdom. Henriks Lapierre on the left boards, and Scarbosa center point. Lapierre peels back. The pass deflected by Belpedio, came through to Dubé. Sharp angle shot, nice save for Cal Peterson. 3 minutes to go in the second. 1 minute left on the penalty to go. Shea. And fired out of there. I think it was Belpedio. Lapierre chopped it down. Boy, that could have been a high stick as he picked up the dribbling puck back at center. But the Bears are right back in. Peterson stopped the dump and does that so well. Gives it over to Belpedio. Shoots it all the way down and clears. Of course, Cal Peterson was so good in the playoffs last year. Had a shutout against Hershey when the Phantoms were down 2-0. Needed a win to stay in the series. He was huge for Lehigh Valley. Gave the Phantoms a chance against the Bears. Vecchione into traffic. Broken up and cleared. Chipped away by Garrett. And the long send down Hunter Shepard's side. 20 seconds left on the penalty to Gaucher and 2:15 to go in the second. Phantoms lead 3-2 here in Game 3. Series even at 1 game apiece in the best of 5 Atlantic Division semifinals. Trinea for Vecchione and around the boards for Spencer Smallman. Dodges around Luchenko. Pass wasn't there. Garrett Wilson had that sealed. Now a shot pass and a little tip between the circles. Smallman on the try by Prisky. Didn't make it through. It was blocked. Gaucher back out of the box. Kranz shoots it all the way down. Gaucher couldn't get past his man. So that is an icing, and we'll have an offensive zone faceoff for the Hershey Bears. We already have more shots in this game than we had in the game on Friday. Shots on Friday were Hershey 22, or Hershey 20, Lehigh Valley 15. Right now they're 22-15, so pretty close to what we had for 60 minutes, and we've done that in only 40 minutes as Hershey has seemingly come in with a mindset of really wanting to open up the game some. Get in past them, keep on pushing, get the transition game going. And that gave them a 2-1 lead, but Lehigh Valley has surged right back to retake the lead at 3-2. Andrew Parrott, hip check over there. Good work, Luchenko. You know, he's 18 years old. He plays that kind of hard physical game. There's so much to like about this number 13 overall draft selection, but the Bears dig it away on the boards. John McDonald on the point, handing it off. Parrott a shot, off of the stick. It's loose in front of Peterson. Everybody digging, including Riley Sutter. Cleared behind the goal by Garrett Wilson and Helga Grounds, with the Bears keep it in. Parrott a big plop and a block shot. Wilson, that one hurt him. He knocked it upstairs and out of play. I think it went off of his skate there on the block shot by Garrett Wilson. He's hopping it off a little bit as he comes back over to the Phantoms bench. Looks like he's fine. I mean, do whatever you need to do to keep him going. He'll get out there and keep playing. They do not come tougher than Garrett Wilson or harder working than Garrett Wilson. Every time. I mean, I'm used to it because I've seen him for, 285 games here with the Phantoms. I'm used to it, but also don't take it for granted. He just goes out there and brings it. And if he can stand up, he's playing. Doesn't matter how hurt he is. He's going to go out there every time. Phantoms win the faceoff, elevate one out of there to the Hershey side. Pierre Dubé, along the neutral zone, along the red line, drives one over to Vincent Iorio. Sampson up on the boards. Under a minute to go in the second. Lehigh Valley 3, Hershey 2. Andre is trying to screen a man off the puck, and Ethan Sampson got it back. Scarbosa slow to get up as the Phantoms rush into the zone. Tipped off the stick of Zane Wisdom, who had those 2 shorties in the third period in Game 2 on Friday. In after, though, and Aaron Ness, their captain, veteran D, got in his way. Phantoms out in front. Oh, a close call. Wisdom down low. Put him back in on the body. Hunter Shepard. Now they take down Wisdom. Obels exchanging punches in there. Oh, they decked Rodrigo Obels. And Aaron Ness got knocked down by Wisdom, it looks like. The linesmen grabbing a hold of Aaron Ness. They're grabbing a hold of whoever they can. And they are really chirping. Iorio is mouthing off to Zane Wisdom. Iorio is in range, and the linesman holding him back. The Phantoms captain is Garrett Wilson coming out to request an explanation from the officials. Well, they got Lexell on a penalty, I think. Okay, so it was Lexell who reached out his leg, and they got him on a trip is what it was. But Iorio just socked Rodrigo Obels over there. Iorio is losing his mind in the penalty box. A couple fans are giving it to him. And Iorio is not being very cool at all over there. 22 years old, I mean, he's a kid, and the Phantoms fans, it looks like they're rattling him, so keep it up, guys. This might even out. It was going to be a Hershey power play because Lexell knocked out his leg and tripped a man. But then Iorio was continuing his engagement with Rodrigo Obels. And then just cheap shotted him and knocked him down. This was after Wisdom and Iorio were all feisty in there. Aaron Ness, their captain, is getting shown to the door. Ness is telling the linesman, you got to be kidding me. But it looks like Aaron Ness is getting an early exit from this game. Oh, man, are they making some noise now? Ness is really slow to come off the ice. I wonder if he made contact with an official or if something like that happened. So Lexell is in for Lehigh Valley. Iorio is in for Hershey. I was looking at whatever Aaron Ness did there. And I saw the replay, but I couldn't really tell what the officials decided was worth tossing him out of the game for. We will play 4-on-4 out of this. It would have been a Hershey power play if Iorio hadn't decked Rodrigo Obels. Gaucher on the faceoff against Hendrik Lapierre. 29 seconds left in the second. Lehigh Valley 3, Hershey 2. Louis Belpedio is pushed back to the Lehigh Valley side. Bump there in front of a whole sea of orange over there. Belpedio up to Gaucher. To the red line and in with Massey. Prisky tried to get rid of it. Belpedio stepped up with 8 seconds left. And he blasts into Prisky in the corner. Puck comes over to the other side. Hunter McDonald lining up Smallman, who kind of dodged away from him. A little extra shove from Hunter McDonald at the whistle as the horn sounds. Second period is over. Let's make sure it doesn't turn into anything more. With Gaucher and Smallman exchanging words. Same for Hunter McDonald with Jake Massey. The officials are having a tough time getting these guys away from each other so they can get off the ice for the intermission. We'll have 4-on-4 to begin the third. I mean, you had to know that we would get some of this for this Game 3 after the way things were going in Game 2. It's no surprise at all when it's the Phantoms and the Bears. It's a rivalry, it's playoff hockey. Downstairs to Christie.
A couple in response. How huge was that from your group, like we've seen time and time again?
Yeah, we came out slow for the second there, so it's nice to find our legs a little bit there in the second half of the period. A couple big goals, get us back in control of this game, so we just got to come out with a good, solid third period the way we can play and hopefully get a job done here.
I feel like this power play had been building to that conversion there. What did you see on that opportunity when you went to the front of the net?
Yeah, we were confident. We knew we were getting chances. We were generating momentum, so it's nice to get one to go there and hopefully we can keep it rolling here.
Obviously, tough to lose Parker, but I know you guys have a ton of confidence in Cal. What's key defensively with this Hershey Bears team in the third period to hold this lead?
Yeah, it's tough losing Gag. He's been battling for us hard, but yeah, like you said, we have all confidence in Cal, and he's going to step in here, and he did step in there at the end of the second and made some big saves for us. So we got to tighten it up, play good defensively, get our legs going a little bit more, and hopefully take care of business.
Good luck in the third.
Thank you.
Downstairs, Christy Fulkerson with Garrett Wilson, and that last question there was talking about Cal Peterson coming in because Parker Gahagan left the game with an injury at 11:12 into the second period. So what could have been really bad news, it's good that we got a really solid guy who very easily could have been our number one goalie here for the playoffs. He was our number one goalie for the playoffs last year. But Parker Gahagan has just been better, and Cal knows it. I mean, Gahagan was fantastic and our co-MVP. So he was our starting goalie for the first 5 playoff games. 2 games against Wilkes-Barre Scranton. This is now game 3 against Hershey. So this is our 5th playoff game. Gahagan has started all of them. But now Cal Peterson has the ball and is ready to run with it. And didn't give up a goal. And Hershey had a couple of good chances in there, too. Lehigh Valley was down 2-1, but they scored goals back-to-back from Garrett Wilson and Nikita Grabenkin. And it's Lehigh Valley 3, Hershey 2 at the second intermission. Shots in the game, Hershey 24, Lehigh Valley 17. Shots in the period, Hershey 17, Lehigh Valley 12. I mean, the game has really opened up. This is the Capital Blue Cross Intermission Report. After the game on Friday, a really good conversation with Anthony Richard talking about some of the young pieces on this team and that excitement of getting that win in Hershey and how important that was. That's coming up in just a moment on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
Every 14 seconds, a hacker strikes a business like yours, lurking for 10 months on average before they're flagged. The good news? Ace by Velaspan. Not your typical defensive tool. Ace flags hackers within moments, safely engaging them on a virtual network before showing them the door. Speedy detections, no false alarms, a secure network. And best yet, Velaspan manages it all. To learn more, visit ace.velaspan.com.
My kids call me Tom. So unnerving. Every day, the older one's like, "How you doing, Tom?" I go, "Hey, I'm not your fucking stepdad, all right?" I wish I was. It'd be a lot easier, but I'm not.
From his multiple Netflix specials, comedian Tom Segura brings his new tour, Come Together, to PPL Center Friday, September 26th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Tom Segura, Come Together.
At NJM Insurance, we like to think of ourselves as a symphony. We start with a foundation of doing the right thing. Then we layer in dedicated reps, whose priority is you. Add in excellent discount programs. And last, but certainly not least, we put our policyholders first. And the reason we don't use jingles or mascots is because it's just not us. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Blood doesn't grow on trees. That's why Miller Keystone Blood Center needs you. Donating blood is safe and easy, and in less than an hour, you can save a life. You know you've thought about it. Now is the time to help people right here in our community. Blood is perishable, and there is no substitute. The only source is you. So please donate, because when you give, people live. Call 1-800-BE-A-DONOR or visit giveapint.org today.
Good chat with Anthony Richard after the game on Friday at Hershey. Talking about a really exciting win, among other topics.
Anthony, big win tonight here in Game 2. Just first, your thoughts on evening the series tonight.
That was a team effort for sure. Everybody played a big role in that game. Especially when Wills got kicked out of the game, we got a short bench, and I felt like everybody was rolling. RD played a solid game, and obviously Parks was outstanding again tonight. So I think it's a mix of everybody's playing well. We play a good game defensively. Like when we're on top of our game since the beginning of the year, that's usually what happened. We stay tight and we capitalize on our chances. So that was the main difference from last game. I think scoring goals last game, we probably played a good as a game, but just we didn't score. So happy for all the guys that worked hard.
And defensively, you guys really took time and space away from the Bears, clogged things up in the middle. Was that part of the game plan going into tonight? And does that need to continue, obviously, the rest of the season?
Obviously they're the best team in the league. Since 2 years ago, they won back-to-back Calder Cup, so they're really fast in transition. They always have good Ds that move the puck pretty well. So that's the force of their team. It's their puck movement from their own zone to the neutral zone. So I think we did a good job tonight, but we did it again on Sunday at home. But obviously, winning here in their building, it was a huge win for us.
Shorthanded goals can be a real momentum boost. You guys got 2 of them. How does that kind of lift the bench and lift the group here tonight?
Yeah, we joked on the bench. We said we're better on the PK than on the power play. We had like 6 or 7 power play. We couldn't score. I think it was our best power play puck movement in a while. I think our power play was really good. We just couldn't buy a goal, but obviously our PK been really good since the beginning of the season, and those 2 goals were huge for us because if we don't score those 2 goals at the end, it's a 1-on-1 game. So that was huge, and that was the turning point of the game for sure.
And as a veteran in that room, looking ahead to game number 3 now, what's the message to the group?
Exciting. We're going back home. It's a Sunday afternoon, late afternoon game, so I'm sure the PPL is going to be rocking, and it'll be nice to get home and be a tie and don't have to. I mean, we still have to play with that same hedge, but it's not like our life is on their line on Sunday. So play like it is, but it's nice to even that things up tonight. And a huge boost of confidence for a team playing against that team and winning here.
It's always going to be emotional come playoff time, especially when you play a rival team. You find it's kind of hard to toe the line. I know there's like 5 or 6 total power plays in game 1, twice as many in this one. It's just kind of hard to keep your emotions in check at times.
Yeah, obviously we're probably the 2 most physical team in our division. We all year, it doesn't matter if it's October, December, or now in the playoff. I feel like every time we come and play here or they're coming in our building, it's always physical games, and I think that's what's going to make that series entertaining for fans. There's good defensive plays, there's physical plays, there's good goaltending on both sides, and obviously they're a fast team. We're a fast team, so it's a really good series so far, and it's been really fun to be a part of it.
How nice is it to get contributions, from across the lineup? A guy like Zade Wisdom scoring 2 goals to where, if the power play isn't clicking, you could have other guys.
Yeah, that's playoff hockey. If you watch the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's always the 3rd and 4th line that they're making their names in the playoffs. Guys that you don't see coming, that they're having a big role in those playoffs, and a guy like Wiz, he's not there to put the puck in the net, but obviously when he scores, it gives a big boost to our team, especially in the PK. So he's been an unreal player so far this season, and I'm happy for him that he scored those 2 big goals.
Is your team particularly good at getting under the skin of opposing teams? Like, it seems like you really are able to kind of push their buttons a little bit.
Yeah, I played against the Phantoms a ton the last couple of years, and it was always hard to play against them. That's the reason why I signed here. It was coming to PPL or where they're coming on the road. They're physical. They're in your face, and I think that's the way Lappy wants to play. So especially in the playoff, that's huge when you're physical like that. I know it's a 5-game series. It's kind of quick, but if you always finish your check, or you always in their face, it's kind of pay up eventually. So yeah, that's one of the things that we've been talking since the beginning of the season. It's playing a playoff type of hockey, and I think we did that tonight.
Do you think you started to frustrate them some too, just the way you're always in their face?
I don't think so, because they're back-to-back champs, so they're really they know what's up in the playoff. Like they've been there. They've played against teams that are probably more physical than us the last 2 years. So I don't think we get under their skin. They're just a physical team. They're emotional. We're emotional on their side.
Really like some of those observations from Anthony Richard. So such a well-spoken interview, and I think very practical on how he approaches this. Well, Lehigh Valley has to be practical too. They're without their top goaltender now as Cal Peterson takes over for the injured Parker Gahagan in the second period. But after the goalie switch, the Phantoms found some offensive stride, and Garrett Wilson scores on the power play. Nikita Grabenkin slams it in off the end boards on a block shot from Emil Andre, and I still couldn't even tell if somebody nudged it back to Grabenkin or if it just bounced back to him enough to put it in past Hunter Shepard. So both of those are kind of rebound goals because Garrett Wilson got the rebound of the Jet Luchenko try on the back door on the power play. That was a great save for Shepard. So the Phantoms stay with it. They keep working. They overcome a 2-1 deficit, and they score goals less than 3 minutes apart to take a 3-2 lead here after 2 in Game 3. Looks promising for the Phantoms. We got 20 really hard minutes coming up. This is the Capital Blue Cross Intermission Report on Real Oldies 1470 and the Phantoms 365 app on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
At NJM Insurance, we like to think of ourselves as a symphony. We start with a foundation of doing the right thing. Then we layer in dedicated reps whose priority is you. Add in excellent discount programs. And last, but certainly not least, we put our policyholders first. And the reason we don't use jingles or mascots is because it's just not us. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Leader of the pack, Canine Institute in the Lehigh Valley, creating happy, balanced dogs 1 liter at a time. Obedience and socialization classes and training, grooming and boarding. 6346 Farm Bureau Road in Allentown. And Leader of the Pack's second location, a state-of-the-art 28,000 square foot facility located at 1200 Braden Boulevard in Easton. That's the Leader of the pack, Canine Institute of the Lehigh Valley. Online at lopci.com.
This is the place we call home. A place filled with pride and determination. A place with rich heritage and stories to be told. A place with a bright and growing future. This is the place we're proud of. This is the place for the people you know and the news you trust. 69 News. Weeknights at 4, 5, 6, and 10.
Came to the bench and kind of looked at Lappy and said, I know. So he's learning. This is what it is in the pros. Here's Grabenkin cutting in on a shot. Hit off the leg. Diving in for it. Jab just a little bit wide on a close call for bump. Hit off a skate. Hershey 3-on-2 the other way. Scarbosa, Vecchione, cross-side shot save. Vecchione backdoor, missed the open net. Boy, oh boy, how did he miss that one? Vecchione's missed a couple wide open nets. By Hershey as the pass kind of went through Andre. Nice idea by Garrett. Here's Miroshnichenko. He scores. Oh, no. Ivan Miroshnichenko shooting on the rush and in transition. And the Bears score them back-to-back. It's Hershey 2, Lehigh Valley 1. Ivan Miroshnichenko had 2 goals in their playoff clinching win here last year in Game 4. Parrott with a goal today, but Parrott just scooted right past him, trying to hand it off for Scarbosa, who had the turnover that led to the Jacob Gaucher shorthanded goal. Now the Phantoms chip it up. Luxell has Gaucher in the middle. Luxell shooting and a save. Hunter Shepard off the blocker, denying Ole Luxell of the Trois-Rivières Lions. Prisky shooting. Nice block. Wisdom. Lead pass, trying to hit him on the breakaway. Luxell past the D. Great save, Shepard. They hit Luxell in stride. He had to shoot it from a little further out because Strome, I think, was hustling back. It looked to be an issue for Parker, and he played the rest of the shift. But then once we got to the break, he knew, and he came right off. Richard Wilson back door, goal on the rebound of the Luchenko shot, and Garrett Wilson buries it past Hunter Shepard. It's the captain. It's a power play goal. We're tied at 2-2. 2-2 tie in Game 3. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. Anthony Richard and the Phantoms. Grabenkin emerges with it. Here's Andre in. And he hung on to it. It comes off the end board. Goal! And Grabenkin, he buries it top shelf. After the shot was blocked and deflected off the end boards, it comes out to Nikita. Truest audio rewind highlight sounds of the game. The Lehigh Valley Phantoms lead the Hershey Bears 3-2 after 2 in Game 3. The winner of this game takes a 2-1 lead in the series. Game 4 is back here on Friday night, so we got a few days to breathe in the middle of this series. Not necessarily a bad thing, and we'll get you back here, Fan Nation, with another orange out for Game 4 on Friday. Tickets available online at phantomshockey.com. NJM Insurance stats and scoring recap. Hershey outshot Lehigh Valley in the second period, 17-12. Shots in the game now, Hershey 24, Lehigh Valley 17. So the game has certainly opened up considerably. Phantoms 1 for 3 on the power play, and also a shorthanded goal for Gaucher in the first, and a goal for Garrett Wilson on the power play in the second. They've held Hershey to 0 for 3 on the power play. Andrew Parrott and Ivan Moroshnachenko back-to-back, a minute 24 apart, gave Hershey a 2-1 lead, but the Phantoms responded with goals less than 3 minutes apart by Garrett Wilson and Nikita Grabenkin to take a 3-2 lead after 40 minutes. This has been the Capital Blue Cross Intermission Report. The third period is coming up next on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
Care has the power to bring kindness where it's needed. It brings out the best in every one of us. It doesn't just see people, it takes time to understand them. It puts the needs of others ahead of its own. And when you start with care, you end up with a very different kind of bank. Truist. Truist Bank, member FDIC.
At NJM Insurance, we like to think of ourselves as a symphony. We start with a foundation of doing the right thing. Then we layer in dedicated reps whose priority is you. Add in excellent discount programs. And last, but certainly not least, we put our policyholders first. And the reason we don't use jingles or mascots is because it's just not us. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Hockey fans, every great play starts with vision, and so does every great project. At Steel Horizon Drone Solutions, we deliver stunning results that turn your big ideas into reality. From real estate to drone tours, inspections, site progression photos, and more. We'll give you the aerial advantage. Capture your greatest moments from the air with us. Visit SteelHorizonDrones.com to get started today. Third period action on the way. Phantoms are 20 minutes away from taking a 2-1 lead in this series. Cal Peterson came on in the second period on in relief for Parker Gahagan, who left with an injury with 8:48 left in the second period. But he's been perfect since entering. 7 saves on 7 shots. Gahagan, you got us here. And now it's time for Cal Peterson and the boys to pick up the rest.
Season assisted by number 39, Luke Philp, at 4:28 of the second period.
They have added an assist on the Moroshnachenko goal. Assist for Luke Philp, for what it's worth. Parent from Strom and Limoges. Moroshnachenko from Philp. Here's Alex Bump 4-on-4, but picking his pocket there and coming back the other way. It's Henrik Lapierre. Bears into the zone and across the line. Smallman handing it off, and a cross-ice pass. Prisky kind of went nowhere and way behind Lapierre. Henrik Lapierre just banged his stick in frustration when he went down low, and that pass was a seam pass, would have been there for him. Henrik Lapierre had 22 points in the playoffs last year and was the playoff MVP. The regular season, he's just had 32 points. A hard collision. Andre and John McDonald just creamed into each other there while Sampson shot it on to Hunter Shepard. I don't even know if that might have been incidental. I think it kind of was, but it looked like almost an elbow there. They got Andre. You know, there was a hard hit. What was it? Miroshnichenko got Ethan Sampson in the game on Friday. And a vicious elbowing. And we were really surprised that wasn't a major penalty, especially after they called Garrett Wilson for the boarding major when maybe that didn't need to be. Turnover, Vecchione. Abels lifted his stick, turned, and shot it wide. Well, Abels has had a couple of quick chances in this game in the first and in the third, grabbing loose pucks or turnovers, and just hasn't quite hit the net. It's going to come for him, though. Because you know he can hit the target. He's got a great shot. Jake Massey shoots it onto Gahagan, and Sampson gets a hard shove to Mike Vecchione and pushes him away. This is a Hershey team that has won back-to-back Calder Cups. There has never been a three-peat in the league since 1962. There's only been one in league history. The Springfield Indians, 1960 through 62. And Hershey is going to be feeling the pressure. Here's a lead pass. Luchenko, breakaway. Oh, what a save. Hunter Shepard out in front. Luxell. Shepard again. Jet Luchenko speeding behind the D at the breakaway. And on the stick side of the right pad, Hunter Shepard got a piece. Wow. Here's Luchenko. I mean, he's making some big plays happen. Garrett Wilson tried a little wraparound, and meeting him there was Luke Philp and blocked it off of his skate. Never made it through to Shepard. Phantoms coming in across the red line, hammered around the boards by Adam Jennings. Yeah, the best way to hold him off is to keep it coming on the other end. Hershey drives into the Lehigh Valley line. Oh, they got a trip. Really? Miroshnichenko went down. And again, you're playing the puck. And then a guy skates right over your stick. And who was it this time? It's Bump. I couldn't tell who got him there, but Bump to the box. I mean, Jennings' stick was in there too. But they got Alex Bump on the penalty. Bump has been having a tougher time here in this series against Hershey. He was making it look so easy against Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Well, the Penguins play that wide open game a little bit more so anyway, a little more run and gun in some ways. And Bump was telling me after the Wilkes-Barre Scranton series, you know, honestly, it doesn't seem that different than college hockey. I mean, we got some older players in NCHC. That's the conference that Western Michigan plays in, the NCHC. But then I think that here in this series, he's finding, yeah, it is different. I mean, Hershey is a harder, heavier, tighter team. Scarbosa shot it wide. Hershey's power play has been a bad news. Here's a shot. Peterson scrambling over and missed on the back door. Lapierre. Dubé, cross ice. Wisdom trying to get there on Lapierre. Lapierre holds it away from Wiz. Drops for Scarbosa. There's Dubé shooting. They got 5 forwards out there again after they got burned on the shorties yesterday. They still have 5 forwards for their power play alignment. Well, Scarbosa's going to have to defend now as Gaucher with a shorty today. Carried it in. Now Miroshnichenko gave him a bump in the back. That was Dubé gave him a bump in the back. Miroshnichenko slammed into Gaucher, who's trying to change. And the referee is going to take him to the box. They might take both. Or they're not just taking Gaucher. There's no way. Gaucher for roughing. 16:51 left in the third. And they're going to open the door on the Hershey side, too. And it's Lapierre that they're taking. So now a 5-on-4 should become a 4-on-3. So Dubé gave kind of a bump in the back of Gaucher, who's trying to change. Then he comes over, and Miroshnichenko was in his way, and then Miroshnichenko bumped him back. And, you know, it's kind of going back and forth pretty hot right now. And actually, the offsetting minors, it looks like we'll keep it at 5-on-4 for Hershey, not 4-on-3, because they both took the roughing penalty. 16:51 to go in the third. Lehigh Valley 3, Hershey 2. The Bears scored a power play goal
Hershey penalty number 29, Hendricks Lapierre. Phantoms penalty number
in the game on Friday. They won 1 for 6. But tonight they are 0 for 2 on their third, and against the Phantoms, 1 for 12 on the season. They were 8% against Lehigh Valley. Luke Philp is in. Down low for Vecchione. Their power play just hasn't been the same without Ethan Frank when he went up to Washington. They don't have Brad Hunt either, or Ethan Bear, their top scorer and defenseman, who's also up with Washington because they have injuries there. Smallman drops it off for Prisky. Prisky on the point, passes around Lixell. 38 seconds to go on the Hershey power play. Wheeling it in behind the goal. Trinea for Smallman. Cross ice. Grans got there first. Lixell in the clear. And Grans just whipped it all the way down beyond the reach of Lixell. And then a bad pass, but Hershey recovers. And now it's turned over to Luchenko. He's trying to bounce one past Smallman. He'll just drop it back to Garrett Wilson after he realized he couldn't drive it in. And that kills even more clock. What a smart play by Jet Luchenko. Anthony Richard said with Jet Luchenko, his hockey IQ is off the charts. For somebody so young, he's only 18. Hershey dumps it in. Out of the box comes Bump, and we're back to 5-on-5. The Bears are 0 for 3. Another good penalty kill for the Phantoms. Massey a shot, hit off of Simpson, stationed in front of relief goaltender Cal Peterson. Out in front, a one-timer. Strome didn't get all of it. Left pad save for Cal Peterson. Iorio a drive. Wilson blocked that one in the slot. Hershey's getting chances. Massey spins away from Bump and then to the right point, Iorio. Down low, back door, chipped up and out. Smallman and Sutter cutting in, getting the pace and deflecting it up and out of play with 15:04 remaining in the third. And the Phantoms hanging on to a 3-2 lead. Shorthanded goal in the first for Jacob Gaucher for a 1-0 lead. Hershey scored twice in the second to take a 2-1 lead. Andrew Parrott and Ivan Miroshnichenko. Phantoms scored twice later on in the second. Garrett Wilson on the power play from Jet Luchenko and Anthony Richard, and then Grabenkin from Andre and Richard with a pair of helpers today. 3 goals in the postseason. He is a huge piece, and he has been in other playoff runs when he's been with Providence, Laval, Syracuse, Milwaukee. Been there, done that many, many times. With the Syracuse playoff run in 2022, 4 goals and 2 assists in 5 games. I mean, he is a difference maker in the playoffs. With Milwaukee in 2019, 4 goals, 1 assist in 5 games. L.A. Tenoye pushing his way in across the line with help from Giovanni Smith, who ran into Riley Sutter. Rolls off the stick, though, of Giovanni. He's been good in these playoff games, too. Hershey just iced the puck. Coasts all the way down and glides in behind Cal Peterson on the Phantom side. 14:34 to go in the third. So Cal Peterson, since coming on in relief for Parker Gahagan with 8:48 to go in the second, Peterson has stopped all 10 Hershey Bears shots that he has faced. Shots in the game, Hershey 27, Lehigh Valley 21, and the Phantoms hanging on 3-2 in Game 3 of the Atlantic Division semifinals, tied at 1 game apiece. Yup, it's another tense one, another intense one. Hershey won the face-off, shot it all the way down for icing. We come back on Friday for Game 4. Tickets available at phantomshockey.com. Once again, just phenomenal energy and noise. But now, you can feel that the fans are a little more uptight, a little more tense. I don't blame you. 1-goal game with 14.5 left. And every play, feels like it has that added importance and so critical. Rodrigo Alves on a face-off. Good, clean win. Back to Jennings. Lines it up. Shoots! Wide past the right pad of Shepard. There's Strome, who's hurt on the play. Well, Strome gets back up, holding his nose, and now coming off the ice very slowly. Hershey is in with Dalton Smith pushing it around the boards. Riley Sutter is up there, the fourth liners. Anthony Richard goes back behind his goal to get to it. Jennings and Sutter slam into each other behind the play. And there was an open ice hit. The Phantoms are in, and a shot, a save. Shepard and eyes, Helga Grans. Alves had taken a hard spill as well. Helga Grans, our star 9 days ago, when the Phantoms finished off the sweep of Wilkes-Barre Scranton. And was trying for a more traditional goal instead of a backhander with his back turned. He was shooting on the rush up the right circle. Ian LaPerriere saying, hey, Helga is playing with some really good confidence. He had 2 really good assists to help out in that 3-1 win on the road on Friday at Hershey. And why shouldn't he have confidence? I mean, he just scored the winning goal to clinch a series in the first round against Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Well, he was ready to shoot that on the move, but Hunter Shepard was equal to the task. Breaking the action with 13:54 to go in the third. Hershey trailing here on the road. The Lehigh Valley Phantoms a 3-2 lead in Game 3 of the Atlantic Division semifinals on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
Phantoms Hockey is sponsored by Capital Blue Cross. For over 80 years, Capital Blue Cross has offered products and services that provide peace of mind and promote good health. For every age and stage of life, Capital Blue Cross is here for you. More information is at capitalbluecross.com.
When Miller Keystone Blood Center calls, I say yes. Did you know 25% of us will need a blood transfusion in our lifetime? It could be me. It could be you, a family member, or a friend. Please give blood so it is available for the next premature infant, cancer patient, accident victim, or others in need. You'll be saving a life right here in our community. To schedule your donation, call 1-800-BE-A-DONOR or visit giveapint.org today, because when you give, people live.
Just way too much time left. Don't get comfortable. Nobody can get comfortable there because we got so much hitting going on back and forth. Do we have another penalty here? A Hershey player went down in that defensive zone faceoff, and I think they got Lehigh Valley. Was it a delayed high stick, or are they calling a penalty? Yeah, they got a Phantoms player going to the box again. And so Ian LePerriere says we got to stay out of the box, and unfortunately, it's another power play chance in the third for Hershey. The Bears are 0 for 4 and on their 5th on a Zaid Wisdom high sticking penalty. Okay, well, here comes the penalty kill again, ready to do their thing. Jacob Gaucher had a shorthanded goal in the first. Phantoms have 3 shorthanded goals in the series. Quick shot off the draw. Nice save, Cal Peterson. That's his 11th on Hershey's 28th shot of the game. He came under relief in the second for the injured Parker Gahagan. Scarposa over to Hendricks Lapierre. Tossed around Jacob Gaucher and over to the right wall for Ivan Miroshnichenko. As Zaid Wisdom, one of our best penalty killers, of course, and he scored those 2 shorties. Miroshnichenko in, shot pass, and waving sticks, blocking in, and Garrett Wilson carries it away and over to the boards and back in, throwing it all the way down ice. Good clear for Garrett Wilson. 13-10 to go in the third. Here's Hershey on the drop there across the ice. Miroshnichenko with a goal. Pallet around the boards into the zone and hacking and whacking it out of there. Great work to clear it away. Ole Excel. He's had a couple of great chances offensively. Big clear here on the PK. He hasn't scored, but he's been making a difference here today. Find a way to make a difference. Scarbosa for Smallman, dumping it in. Peterson stopped the dump in. Gonna hang on to it a little bit. Flip it around the wall, and then Hershey got there to it to prevent the Phantoms from clearing. Limoges, now it's chipped up ice and around and out. Here comes Ole Excel. It's a little 1-on-2. Wanted to put on the move, but Chase Brisky is there. Steal it back for Hershey. Great work on the penalty kill without one of their best, Zaid Wisdom. 36 seconds left on the Hershey power play. 12:20 to go in the third. Philp is in across the line for Smallman. Dashes down to the right corner, and Prisky put it across Krineyev. Here's Chase Prisky, center point. Luchenko waving his stick, wants to get a piece. Left side of the cage, and diving down to block the seam pass. Across was McDonald, and now Luchenko comes up with a loose puck and shoots it all the way down. Another clear. More great work on the PK. Fantastic. Hershey in across the line again. Wisdom out of the box. Hershey offside. Boy, and we're not back to 5-on-5 yet. There's still 1 second left on the penalty to Zaid Wisdom. 11:46 to go in the third. 1 second left, and Wisdom standing there in the penalty box, ready to return. Elliot Denoye on the faceoff. Man, has he been good. He did not play in the first 3 playoff games, and then he entered in the lineup on Friday. Hershey wins the face-off. Wisdom returns. Bears go to 0 for 5 after they were 1 for 6 on Friday. Great stuff. So Wisdom got tagged for the high sticking, and I guess it was pretty clear. There was nothing you could really argue about there. Here come the Bears again. Matt Strome. 28 shots in the game. Cal Peterson on relief has stopped 10 in a row since he entered. Actually now 11 saves for Cal. And the Phantoms cling to a 1-goal lead, but they go in after it on the forecheck. Dalton Smith got there. Scored his first goal of the season against Lehigh Valley back in February. Shot save. Rebound. Diving around. Goes through Strome. Dalton Smith couldn't finish. And somehow the Bears couldn't put it in. Past a diving, scrambling Cal Peterson on a pinballing puck. Phantoms catch a break. There have been a couple of big opportunities for Hershey, and they just missed and couldn't finish. Vecchione had one in the second. Phantoms throw it down ice. That's an icing. Or no, it isn't. Okay, Hershey will scoop it up and start the breakout. 10.5 to go in the third. Phantoms 3, Bears 2. Here come the chocolate and white again. Oh, Grabenkin just stole it at center. Quick active stick, and then the Phantoms across the line are whistled for an offside. Nikita Grabenkin is going to be a really interesting piece for the Philadelphia Flyers in the future. He's got so much good energy, sometimes learning to play within a structure. He's on a line now with Rodrigo Abels, who practically serves as an extra coach. He speaks Russian. Does Rodrigo Abels from Latvia. The guy speaks 4 or 5 languages. English, Swedish, Latvian, and Russian. And he tells me those 2 languages not really related. They are not the same. Which sort of, I didn't know. Now I do. But he can speak it. And what a great help he can be for Nikita Grabenkin, who just turned 22 on Friday. Phantoms on the move. Jennings found Richard up the right wing. Shooting! A sharp angle. Hunter Shepard there got to it. Grabenkin keeps it on the left wall. Richard behind the goal. Out in front. Victor went through Abels. Would have been a sharp angle try, but he couldn't handle it cleanly. Here comes Grabenkin. He's wheeling around and moving quickly up high for Abels. Shot was deflected. Richard had it in the slot, trying to put it in. And waving sticks to the Hershey defenders break that up. Grans was screening at the net front. Helga Grans got all the way up there in front of Hunter Shepard. 9.5 to go in the third. Phantoms drive it all the way in deep. Oh, Prisky turned it over. Wisdom shooting, and he didn't make good contact. And now the Bears 3-on-2. Limoges and Lapierre. Hunter McDonald ties them up, steals it away. Cleared out the center. Crazy chances for both sides, and neither side got off a very good shot at all. There goes Smallman rocking into Louisville. PDO. Everyone wants to not take a critical penalty here, so they're playing it relatively straight up and clean. Phantoms clear it all the way down. That is an icing with 9:02 left in the third. Oh, well, I mean, at least we're a little bit closer. I said 16 minutes left. Yep, we were trying to hang in there. Long way to go. Well, not quite as long now. 9 minutes to go. 3-2 Phantoms. There's still a lot of time, though. What a great job for Cal Peterson coming on in relief of Parker Gahagan. I mean, coming into the middle of a period like that, it's not easy. Gahagan kicked out his right leg and barely got a piece of it off the end of his right pad. Lead pass. Moroznichenko was offside by a ton and shoots it on to Cal Peterson in the save. Everybody at the Phantoms bench reacted. I mean, that was as obvious as could be. I thought so. Thankfully, it did not result in a goal. And in the AHL, you cannot review an offside play. So if he had scored, it would have counted. There is no reviewing for offsides in the American Hockey League, so he caught a little bit of a break there. Showing a couple of the saves that Cal Peterson has made since coming on in relief for Parker Gahagan. Now he's got 12 of them. And the Phantoms lead 3-2 with 8:49 left in the third. In Game 3 of the Atlantic Division semifinals of the Calder Cup playoffs on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
When it comes to towing, trailer, or auto body repair, experience matters. Let Ironton Auto Body put their 70-plus years of experience to work for you. Locally owned and operated with 24-hour emergency towing and recovery services, along with 24-hour trailer repair. When something goes wrong, don't trust it to anyone. Look no further than Ironton Auto Body. Let our family take care of your family. Call 610-799-3241.
At NJM Insurance, we like to think of ourselves as a symphony. We start with a foundation of doing the right thing. Then we layer in dedicated reps whose priority is you. Add in excellent discount programs. And last, but certainly not least, we put our policyholders first. And the reason we don't use jingles or mascots is because it's just not us. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
The Phantoms looking to take a 2-1 lead in this series, and Game 4 is here on Friday, and it could be the last chance for the Hershey Bears. And the Phantoms could be on the verge of looking to advance to the Atlantic Division Finals. If the Phantoms eliminate Hershey, then they will play either Providence or Charlotte. Charlotte took a 5-1 win at Providence in Game 1 on Friday. So Charlotte has a 1-0 lead in that series. They're really going after Bump, and they got another big hit on him. Yeah, welcome to pro hockey, Alex Bump. Here's Garrett Wilson knocking it forward and beyond the reach of Bump. Did he get there first for the icing? He does. Then he leans on Aaron Ness, their captain, and the veteran takes a tumble, but the Hershey Bears emerge. They pass it over to Miroshnichenko, who was about to change. Then he backs off. Stands there, looks on the puck, can't play it, and now from behind the Phantoms goal with everybody changing. I think, yep, we got the Phantoms changing now. Here's Eklund and Giovanni Smith. Elliot Denoye is joining them shortly, but Luchenko's still out there right now. Here comes Desi. Bears bottle it up on the blue line, down to 7:50 to go in the third. Phantoms lead 3-2. Goals for Jacob Gaucher, short-handed on the steal as he looked at this. Oh, a turnover. Denoye picks it off. And a block shot. Massey got out there and saved the day. What a bad pass on a turnover. And Desi added a stride, and Jake Massey bailed out Hunter Shepard. Phantoms goals, Jacob Gaucher, Garrett Wilson, Nikita Grabenkin in a 3-2 lead. Hershey goals in the second, back-to-back, a minute and a half apart. Andrew Parrott and Ivan Miroshnichenko, and they led 2-1. Here comes Hershey, and again, John McDonald in behind the goal. Louisville PDO slams into him. Grabenkin lead pass. Richard pass to D. It's a break and a save for Shepard. Oh, what great vision. Grabenkin to find Anthony Richard on the opposite side. There was a defenseman getting an angle on him, so Richard had to shoot it from further out. And that allowed Hunter Shepard the opportunity to make the big save. Love that pass and vision from Nikita Grabenkin. He's got some good chemistry going now with Anthony Richard, that's for sure, and how. 6.5 to go in the third. Turnover. Here comes Grabenkin. Jammed up there goes Jay. He shot it wide. A deflection by John McDonald, who barely got a piece of the Grabenkin shot. Now a try. And there was a good crack at it for Zane Wisdom between the circles. Yeah, he had a good look. Zane Wisdom in after it. Wisdom picked it off. Turnover. A shot goes Shea. John McDonald blocked that one too. He was feeling it on the earlier block. John McDonald is dying as number 47, the defenseman, goes back to the Hershey Bears bench. Phantoms are charging ahead. Licksell in on the right wing. Scores! Ole Licksell buries that pass. Hunter Shepard with 5:51 to go. It's 4-2 Phantoms. He picked the corner on the glove side of Hunter Shepard. What a shot for Ole Licksell on the rush. And Shep wasn't fast enough to get that one. The Phantoms kept on pushing and charging ahead. And there was daylight there. On the short side, Iorio might have even gotten a piece of it. Maybe. Oh, Excel gives the Phantoms a 4-2 lead. Lehigh Valley is 5:51 away from taking a lead in the series at 2-1. Hershey won the opener 3-0. The Phantoms on the verge of winning back-to-back games 2 and 3. And when we come back on Friday night for Game 4, the Phantoms would be on the verge of eliminating the two-time defending Calder Cup champs. Jeff Luchenko got up and into the corner. Garrett Wilson goes up to Jake Massey. And they exchange shoves. There's a delayed roughing penalty coming up as Luchenko puts his helmet back on. And I think we got a power play for the Phantoms coming up. Mike Scarbosa to the box. Lehigh Valley on the power play. When we return, looking to build on a 4-2 lead with 5:25 left in the third. Ho-ho! The Phantoms on the verge of taking a 2-1 lead in the Atlantic Division semifinals of the Calder Cup playoffs on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms Hockey Radio Network.
Every 14 seconds, a hacker strikes a business like yours, lurking for 10 months on average before they're flagged. The good news? ACE by Velaspan. Not your typical defensive tool, ACE flags hackers within moments, safely engaging them on a virtual network before showing them the door. Speedy detections, no false alarms, a secure network. And best yet, Velaspan manages it all. To learn more, visit ace.velaspan.com.
At Bethlehem Landfill, we're more than just a waste disposal site. We're a vital part of our community. Bethlehem Landfill provides the Lehigh Valley with environmentally safe and cost-effective waste disposal for residential, commercial construction, and demolition waste. But it's not just about waste. We're committed to giving back to our community, funding local environmental scholarships, and supporting initiatives that make our neighborhoods a better place to live and work. Bethlehem Landfill, your trusted partner in waste disposal and community growth.
Power play for the Phantoms. Already a 4-2 lead of that Oil Excel goal. How about another? Let's go. Hershey picked it off after the Phantoms had it behind the goal. Lehigh Valley just turned it up there. Denoye had the intercept. There were some other great chances. The partial break for Lixell, and then he scores on this one. Richard had the partial break. I beg your pardon on that long lob pass out of there. Wasn't really a lob, but a great pass. Down ice by Grabenkin. Here's Bump on the left boards. Tapped it up high to the point. Luchenko and out of the left wall. It's Alex Bump again. Strome kind of backs off here on the penalty kill. Phantoms went 6-5-1 against Hershey. Regular season and playoffs combined. On the verge of going to 7-5-1 against the Bears. Yeah, Lehigh Valley has kind of had their number somewhat this year. Not all the way. Pretty even, but Lehigh Valley's been good. Out in front, a shot, Wilson, and a save, and he covers. Luchenko behind the goal. Found Garrett Wilson to the left dot, bidding for another. Hunter Shepard hangs on with 4:28 left in the third. 103 left on the roughing penalty against Mike Scarbosa. Hershey 0 for 5 on the power play. Lehigh Valley is 1 for 3 and on their fourth. Phantoms also with a shorthanded goal. Special teams have been a difference maker in this playoff game. It's worked out well. And the Phantoms are 4 minutes and 28 seconds away from taking a 2-1 lead. What do you think of this, Phantoms fans? Pretty exciting here. Not your average everyday 5 seed, that's for sure. I mean, this is a reloaded lineup. We were telling you this before, that this team with this lineup could be really good. And no team really wanted a piece of us, I promise you. Turnover, Hershey, Gaucher shooting, blocked down, Sampson in, and a big bomb and a block shot, John McDonald. And he was really hurting after a couple blocks from a shift earlier. Short-handed for the Bears, Smallman for Trinea. The pass didn't make it through. Phantoms hustled back. Now Smallman in the corner, behind the goal. Wrap around through the blue paint, right in front of Cal Peterson to the other side. They'll get the Phantoms for a holding penalty, it looks like here. So Lehigh Valley had to kind of hold them off on that short-handed rush. And Ethan Sampson on a hold. will end Lehigh Valley's power play with 3:53 left. 28 seconds of 4-on-4. And then Hershey will get a minute 32 of power play time in their power play with 3:25 left in the third. They're down by 2, so they can consider pulling their goaltender. I don't think they will with the free icing, but you never know. Face-off win for the Bears. 4-on-4 right now. Henrik's Lapierre pivots back to the blue line. A shot, a save, rebound. Peterson diving across. He's got it and he hangs on. Oh, Cal Peterson scrambling across with the paddle. What a save for Cal Peterson. Lemos diving forward with a backhand. He saw that wide open net. He thought he was about to bury it and make it a one-goal game, but Cal, diving to his left, got there and knocked it down. So Cal Peterson now with 14 saves on 14 shots that he's faced since coming on in relief for Parker Gahagan with 8:48 left in the second period. What a performance. Still 4-on-4. Lemos trying to knife his way in. Peterson punched it away and around the boards and out. 10 seconds left in the Scarbosa penalty. He hadn't played since March 1st. Lehigh Valley shoots it down. That's an icing. Yeah, we're still 4-on-4. Jennings is looking at the ref, and was it tipped? It was. So they blew the whistle, but they're going to conference and maybe negate this icing and do a center face-off instead. Well, they're still deliberating on this one. Boy, it's a long conference here. This Phantoms team, they just come at it with such a, not just a swagger, but really more about the confidence and the calm. You know, they were kind of loose going into game 2 on Friday. They weren't stressed. They were pretty loose. Hey, we know we need to win, but let's go out and have a good game. Play hard, everybody. And they go out there, and you know, and you kind of feel like Hershey's sweating it. You know, they know how to play, but all of a sudden they're looking at this going, you know what, we're kind of getting outplayed in some ways here. You know, Lehigh Valley is deserving. Here comes Hershey. Center face-off. Scarbosa is coming on. Power play for the Bears. Hunter Shepard is between the circles, ready to come off. Prisky tapped it down low. Scarbosa shooting and a save. Cal Peterson and eyes like Scarbosa. Henrik's Lapierre there. Wisdom steals. There's an empty net. Tried to backhand it out. Kept it on the point. 6-on-4 for the Bears with 3:05 left. Intercept and Wisdom will clear. It goes off the stick of Dubé. No icing. It rolls all the way down. 1 minute to go on the Hershey power play. 2:52 left in the third. Scarbosa to the red line. Peterson stopped the dump in. Plays it around the boards. Blocked down to the point. Prisky. There's Lapierre. Wisdom came out to meet him. Belpedio ties up a man. Hershey got it back. Obels and Hunter McDonald on this 6-on-4 kill. 2.5 left. Lapierre center point to the right board. Scarbosa 4-2 Phantoms. Phantoms intercept and Obels couldn't quite clear. Kept in by the Bears. Lapierre for Scarbosa. Then they have they got Prisky. He's the only defenseman. Prisky left dot. Seam pass. Lemos. Oh, what a save! Cal Peterson diving to his left. He got a blocker on it, baby. Oh, what a save for Cal Peterson. Chipped back to the blue line. Dubé for Chase Prisky. These saves for Cal, unbelievable. Dumped in deep. Peterson got a piece. Out of the box comes Sampson. Now it's 6-on-5. 1:50 left. 4-2 Phantoms. It's a hand pass. And play is blown down. A hand pass, I guess, on Hershey. And so we bring the faceoff back out of the neutral zone, and that means Hershey might put in their goalie, Hunter Shepard, again. They might call a timeout here, but they don't have to. 1:49 left, and the Phantoms up by 2. And Cal Peterson has made a couple of fabulous, unbelievable saves back there. Diving across with the blocker on the backdoor crank. And somehow he got there too, and oh, what a save. And he wasn't even the starter. He came on in relief with 8:48 to go in the second. 4-2 Phantoms, a minute 49 left. They will keep their goaltender, Hunter Shepard, on the bench. They have Iorio all the way back behind his own blue line to hustle into the crease if they need to. Phantoms win the draw. Gaucher had to dig for it twice. Got there to it. Bank forward Jennings, and then it's intercepted Aaron Ness. And they're offside. Ness tried to drive it in. That's an offside with 1:40 left in the third. Game 4 on Friday. And the Phantoms, as it stands now, with a chance to eliminate the two-time defending Calder Cup champions. And if so, will be on to the division finals against Charlotte or Providence. And we would be playing until Memorial Day weekend. I mean, that's where the next round would take us to. The weather's getting warmer, and we're still playing hockey, baby. Phantoms win the face-off again. They've done so well with that. Andre tapped it up there. Tried to connect with Lexell, but it sailed beyond his reach. Iorio scoops it up. Circles back behind his own empty net. They keep the goalie pulled, and now across the line, Mike Vecchione powers it in. Peterson got back there quickly to stop it. Trineyev on the corner. Flipped up and out. It's a foot race. It goes all the way to the corner. Smallman got in the way of Wilson. They call that an icing. Wow. That is an icing violation. Cal Peterson with 14 saves on 14 shots since coming on in relief with under 9 minutes left in the second. And some of those saves have just been phenomenal. In the booth next to me, Keith Jones with a big smile on his face. He's loving it. Danny Briere and others here watching on. What a game. Well, we're not finished yet. A minute 14 left. And a face-off win for the Bears. Shooting it wide and behind the goal. Lemos centered out in front. Gaucher blocked the pass. Lexell tosses it out of there, but won't make it to the empty net. Mike Scarbosa will chop it down, hang on to it. Here comes Hershey again. Into the zone across the line. Lapierre, Jennings tied him up in the corner. We're down to 50 seconds left. Moroznichenko for Dubé. The stick tapped off of his stick, and then it comes out to Dubé. Right dot, cross ice, Brisky. Oh, they're getting loud now. And Gaucher will just push it off of Brisky's possession and all the way back to the Hershey zone. Scarbosa will golf it forward. 30 seconds to go around the boards, and there's Eklund. Couldn't clear, kept in Brisky. Save Peterson. Out in front of the left point, Lapierre for Brisky. 20 seconds left. And a shot pass hit off a body. Maybe Giovanni Smith. A lot of big bodies and long reaches out there now. Lappy puts them out there and says, come and get us, baby. You can beat these guys. Lapierre, cross ice, looking for Lemos. Dive in to block the pass, Belpedio. Giovanni Smith clears it out the center. The fans roar to their feet, waving their rally down and screaming. The Lehigh Valley Phantoms win. They defeat the Hershey Bears 4-2. Phantoms taking 2-1 lead in the series. We're back on Friday for Game 4 and a chance to knock off and eliminate the defending Calder Cup champions. Cal Peterson comes on in relief for the injured Parker Gahagan, and he makes saves on 15 consecutive shots to lead the Phantoms to a thrilling 4-2 win in Game 3 of the Atlantic Division semifinals. What a game for the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Short-handed breakaway goal on the steal for Jacob Gaucher. Then the Phantoms were down 2-1. But goals late in the second, Garrett Wilson